Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. Here we go with the Saturday night episode. Yes. Myself and my main man G. What's good, G?
What's going on, bro?
Maintaining. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself?
Man, this Notre Dame USC got me in knots right now, but looks like we're gonna pull it off, man. We just huge defensive play to kind of probably save the game. So man, woo! This is a tough one. But yeah, everything's good, man. Everything's good. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good.
All right.
Good
Got a lot to be thankful for. Huh?
Yeah, really good Thanksgiving.
That's good, man. That's good. For anybody in the chat, man, appreciate y'all popping in. We got a pretty good show in line for you this evening, and we are gonna get right to it. So I'm gonna give my little spiel, and then we're gonna get it rolling. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. So yeah, we'll probably just give it a couple minutes, see if we get a couple more people in the chat, man. Today is a freaking crazy day if you're a college football fan. Some major games going on in terms of affecting possible college football playoff seedings and all that stuff. So it's been wild, man. Definitely didn't expect Michigan to go into the shoe and pull the upset over Ohio State. I thought that was crazy. Their defense really stood up all game long, played on their head, as the expression goes. So that was a huge win. They end up winning 13-10. Really didn't have a whole lot to play for. It just became bowl eligible last week. But they spoiled their rivals. Well, they didn't spoil it, but they really put a hit in their rivals' championship dreams. So we know Ohio State's going to drop in the rankings. So that was crazy. And again, that probably really hurts Ryan Day as well. This is the 4th year in a row Ohio State lost to Michigan in the game, probably the most venomous rivalry in college football, and maybe one of the most venomous rivalries in American sports, period, man. Those people really hate each other. It's wild. But huge win for Sharon Moore. Michigan lost a whole lot of talent to the NFL last year, lost some to the transfer portal and all that, but just gigantic win for the Wolverines. But we'll see what ends up happening. Should be an exciting show on Tuesday night. Miami's on the ropes right now. They lose again, they're probably going to be out of the college football playoff altogether. They're on the ropes up at Syracuse right now. Another tough one. Notre Dame's got 2 minutes left. They're up by 2 touchdowns at USC right now. So just some huge stuff going on today. Yeah, but we will talk some sports. So you want to get it rolling, G?
Sure. Why not?
No doubt. That's what we're here for. We're here to kick it in and talk some sports like only we can. All right, so I think we only got one quick hit lined up, and definitely wanted to talk to you about it, especially. And that's, I don't know if you saw the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn recent episode where what's up, B-Dub? How you doing, man? I think you're new to the show, but so make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And if not, then if you're not new, then hopefully you hit it already. But anyway, yeah, I think you saw that 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with your man Melo and Cayenne Anthony, his son, announcing that he will attend Syracuse next year to play ball. You saw that?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was well. We starting to see that a lot, right? Like I think with high school players going on these really good podcasters, or really popular podcasters, instead of like going to the local media, they starting to go on podcasts and kind of tell the folks where they're going at and why they chose to go that route. So I think I think it was Cayenne Anthony, and then I saw recently with a few players that's going to the Buffs.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
was going to bring that up. I saw that
on
as well.
Shannon Sharp show, but
Hmm.
yeah, that was a really good show though. The Mello 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Mello
I thought so
and
too.
Lala coming forth, and Mello said some things. People want him to be his own man, but
Hmm.
trusting the blueprint. The blueprint will always put you in the right direction. You get to choose what doors you walk through, but at the same time, trust the process. And that's only, that's some stuff you have to be there. And I took that when I heard Mello say that. I didn't take it like it was a shot at like everybody else was trying to push him into different places. I took it
Hmm.
as him letting him know like all that's cool, right?
Hmm.
But trust your father, right? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, truck. I played umpteen years and umpteen years. That's a new one. I played multiple years, and I'm still, one of the most prominent threes to play the game. I think
Right. Right.
the Olympics kind of showed him that. He talked about that on the show. How he didn't know how good his dad was until they went to the Olympics and he saw all the love that he got. And it was just
Okay.
like overwhelming for him. But but yeah, I mean, the kid still got Paul George as his GOAT. So there's a lot to be learned about
He's
the
one of
game of
those.
basketball.
He's
Huh?
one of those.
Yeah. Paul, he said Paul George was his GOAT.
Can I can I
Um,
can I interrupt you for a second here, G? No. I just want to say Paul George is a really good player, right? He's got a really good skill set, no doubt. He could defend,
yeah,
he can shoot it, he could pass it. Very good skill set. Notre Dame with another pick six. This game is over. Whew, took a lot, but anyway, a really good skill set, outstanding player, right? But your your father is Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George is your GOAT. Like even
yeah,
if
but
you said Carmelo's your GOAT, all right, we could work with that, right? Paul George is your GOAT and your father is Carmelo Anthony. You
his
see where
father
I'm confused
also
there?
his father also disciplines him as well. And so you know how that is, man. When they get a certain age, well, you ain't there yet. You gonna find out soon.
Okay. I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. When they get to a
Okay.
certain age, bro, it's like it's
Uh-huh.
you versus them, right?
Yeah.
They everything that you do, they gonna try to break all your records
Hmm.
and try to be a better man than you are. So
I mean,
I
that's what we
think
want, though, I would think.
yeah, I think what Melo or Cayenne going to Syracuse shows is that his father still has a really he has a lot of influence in
Hmm.
his son's life to the
Yep.
point where he's willing to follow his footsteps because he
Hmm.
could have just went another route, right? Like I think we
That's
saw
right.
him talking to Arizona or something like that.
Yeah, he talked to
Um,
a few schools. Yeah.
yeah, he stayed in New York. He stayed in New York, so
Hmm.
I think that's a good thing for him.
Yeah, no. So damn, Laker Nation. That's what it is. No, but Laker Nation makes a
Yeah,
good comment here. He
on the
says
road.
Melo doing it the right way, right? And by that, I assume he means that he encourages his son to work for everything and he's not trying to hand him anything. I like that. He's not trying to hand him anything like another guy we know who handed his son something when his son didn't deserve what he handed him. He will remain nameless. But I love that Melo really is pushing the work, right? Pushing, like you said, the process. And one of the things I think I read or heard somewhere is that when Cayenne was playing in high school, if he wasn't playing well, Melo would tell the coach, "Hey, pull him out. He's not playing well." Like you wouldn't hear that from a certain other guy who I'm sure we saw that, many instances where his son wasn't playing well, but he just, continued to, you know, try to give him things he wasn't ready for and shouldn't have. But I love it, man. I really do. I love what I see Carmelo doing, and I think Laker Nation is silly, man. Um, I really love what we're seeing Carmelo doing. I love what we're seeing D Wade doing, and these guys are just demonstrating that it's better when you make your kid earn it. I'm just saying. But I don't know any fathers that wouldn't give their kid something who didn't deserve it. So. But anyway,
At the, I mean, at this point, what did he earn? I mean, what did he earn? He's going to Syracuse. He's following his
Right.
dad's footsteps, right? And I'm sure Melo has something to do with that. But not to say the
You,
kid
you
isn't
think
a
he did
bag,
though?
right?
You think he did?
Absolutely. He alumni, bro. Like, come on. He alumni.
Right, right. Well, I think that when I say that, I don't think he went to him and said, "Hey, offer my kid a scholarship," right? Because Melo strikes me as the kind of dude that was like, if his son wasn't good enough, then you know, figure it
Yeah.
out some other way. He strikes me as that
Hell
guy. I
no.
don't
Hell
think he
no. They
would push
didn't.
for
Hell no. He didn't go to them. They went to him.
right because his son was good
Yeah.
enough.
They went to him. Was like, shh. We made a lot of money off of you, and we looking forward to making a lot of money off your son. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going into the whole nepotism thing because
Nah,
Cayenne is a bag, yo. Like Shorty, he definitely in the lab. And not saying Bronny wasn't in the lab. It just didn't translate into the real game. That's the difference. He might be a hell of a practice player. And such a thing as players who are extremely talented in practice, but then as soon
I've
as
heard
that
that.
light come on, yeah, it doesn't translate
Mm-hmm.
over. So um
Well,
but I mean, fast
agree.
forward 5 years, you never know what we're gonna see in this
You're
this
right
new
though.
NBA, right? Because
No,
it's a
you're right.
different era. It's a
Correct.
different era. We
Correct.
might see D Wade, all these boys in the league. I don't think they're gonna be like
The
tier
boozers,
one
the
athletes.
Harpers. You're
Yeah,
right.
I don't think they're gonna be tier one. Maybe Cayenne. I only say Cayenne because he can shoot. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Shorty, he hasn't even completely been able to like peak yet. I think Bronny peaked already.
Hmm.
I think he peaked and he fizzled out.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
I think he peaked.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, so not trying to go here. Chris, man. First, you say I hate LeBron so much. I didn't even say the man name. You said his name. So that's one. That's one. I don't know. I hate him. Maybe you love him. I mean, so whatever. But Bronny James jersey alone has made the Lakers over $60 million. They have what they've invested in Bronny already. Great business, if you ask me. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody. And as a side note, who the hell would buy Bronny's jersey? Like for what? If you bought LeBron's jersey, okay, cool. He's one of the all-time greatest players. Fine. Got it. Why would you buy Bronny's jersey? Real talk.
I think
He,
these
he's
these
got the
people
top selling
brought the
jersey for
jerseys.
what?
I think they brought it before he had played a game. Kind of like with the whole RG3 thing. He was selling more tickets at Subway, he was selling more sandwiches than he did tickets at FedEx, and he
Mm.
played really well, but he fizzled out at the end with the injuries. So I don't know. I think people just buy stuff, man. Like, why wouldn't you buy a Bronny jersey before he played a game?
Why would I buy it? Really?
For the flip,
No, no.
for the
This is
flip,
not
bro.
not
For the
even
flip.
about this is not even about Bronny though. Like, why would I buy the jersey of a player who I know is not good? That's my thing. I wouldn't buy a
I'm
jersey of I don't care if he's a Celtic player. I don't care if I like the colors. I'm not buying a jersey of a player who's not good. That doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense to me.
facts. But
Just
I think Cayenne at Syracuse is going to be a show to watch. I haven't looked at
I think so too. I think so too.
what they're going to be, but I just think watching this kid and his father's constantly in his ear, and he's actually playing against NBA players day in and day out, and they in the lab working. And
Mm-hmm.
so, not to say Bronny's not in the lab working.
We
I'm
know
not saying
Bronny's not
that,
in the lab working. We haven't even heard about him. We haven't heard
bro.
about him, right? Real talk.
Bro, he's
Now the
20
Lakers
some
trying to
years
front
old.
like he's
His
injured.
father invested
Come on, man.
millions of dollars. His father, the Jazz. His father
I
invested
know, Jack.
millions of dollars in training.
Yeah, he need to get his money back. He need a refund.
He trying to get his money back, bro. Like, let him live, yo. He trying to get his bread back, yo.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can't be
Hey,
mad at that. If I spend
yeah.
$10 million on you, you getting drafted, bro. Like this. Okay, if I got to put on there and stand on Adam Silver's desk, man, you going to
Oh
the
my
league,
god.
goddamn.
Oh my goodness. All right,
Yeah.
man. Let's go ahead and let's get it started on these topics, man. That was the quick hit. Let's move right along. So, first topic I wanted to discuss. Obviously, college football is almost there. We're almost to the end of the regular season in college football. I guess we are. This week is the final game of the regular season, and we will follow up next week with conference championship games, etc. Right? And so, what is it? We have the awards are going to be coming pretty soon here. So the question is Travis Hunter a lock for the Heisman Trophy? And this guy doesn't get tired. He's out there all the time, just a phenomenal player. What are your thoughts on Travis Hunter, G, and what you've seen from him?
He's a dog, man. Uber
Yeah,
athletic. Can
sure.
I'm concerned if talent's going to translate over to the NFL. Only
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a. You frozen?
No, I'm
Yeah, you
good.
frozen.
Am I?
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. All right, there we go. Boom, we
Okay.
good. All right, I'm concerned if uh his talents will translate over to the NFL only because I think the Panthers are looking at number one, right?
I think the
And if
Giants
that's
are
the
number one
case, then the Giants are number one.
right now.
Either
Yeah.
way, he's going to a really bad team, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll end up with a really bad team,
Mm-hmm.
and we may not be able to see him on a decent team until after that contract. So that's for me. I don't want to see that type of talent be wasted.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, right now I think he's like top five, no question, top five
Oh, no question.
athlete
No question.
in
Yeah.
um, college football.
Mm-hmm. I
Say it
think.
again.
I think that. I think
Yeah,
the skills.
yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry. You good?
Shoot, I didn't say
Oh, okay.
anything.
My bad. I
Yeah,
thought I was cutting you
just
off. I apologize. No, I was saying, I absolutely believe he's a top five player in college football, no question. But I do think the skills will translate. The only thing I'm thinking about is on the next level, I believe that he needs to focus on one position, whether it's locking in as a wide receiver or locking in as a defensive back. I think logistically, it would be very hard to play two positions in the NFL full time. He's not going to be able to do that. One, because of the physicality of the game, and two, because you can't be in two meeting rooms at the same time, right? In terms of being in the defensive meeting room and being in the offensive meeting room, like that's not going to work. So you got the logistics piece of it. Exactly, Christopher. He's got to pick one in the league, but less the point being what he's going to be in the league. I'm looking at, should he have Heisman locked up? And of course, Coach Prime is uh, he's pushing for that, and so are many people in the national sports media, and they have a right to. But I don't think it's necessarily locked up. For instance, we have his own team throws, but he can make every throw. He's pinpoint accurate. He's mobile. He can throw on the move. Like, I think Shadur is a beast, and with that, I don't think that Travis Hunter's got it on lock, because his own teammate is going to take some votes from him, as a especially as a quarterback, right? Because we know, unfortunately, most of these awards end up going to quarterbacks, right? So I think that he will probably lose some points there. Then we got the absolute freak show running back from Boise State, Ashton Genty, absolute monster. This dude is leading the league in rushing, leading the country in rushing by far, by about just over 700 rushing yards, right? He's averaging over 7 yards a carry, and he's got 28 rushing touchdowns. He is killing. Now, early on in the season, they were saying he was on pace to possibly break the record in the legendary rushing season of Barry Sanders back in, was that 87, 88, I believe. And I think that's like 2,800 rushing yards. But the crazy thing about that, though, I don't know why nobody mentioned Monty Ball, because I think Monty Ball is second in terms of single season rushing. But anyway, Ashton Genty is an absolute beast, as you can see here for Boise State. He's just doing his thing, and he's probably going to be very good on the next level. And for those that say, well, it's Boise State, he played against lesser competition. Yeah, and he carved up most of them, but he also carved up Oregon, the number one team in the country, for like 190 rushing yards. So this kid is a monster as well. So, like, I think we got a really good field of Heisman finalists. Hey, look, Edward, man, chill. The Irish are playing violent. They're playing physical. They're playing angry, man. This is a football team that's ready to go to the playoffs, host a game, and see what happens. But anyway, Ashton Genty, just as you can see here, absolute beast, super athletic. He's got speed, he's got strength, he's got it all. Teams are consistently putting 8 and 9 in the box to try to stop this guy, and he's still got just under 2,300 rushing yards and 28 touchdowns on the season. Like, what do you do with that? We can't just ignore that. You know what I'm saying? We can't. Just an incredible season by that guy. And the last guy I will point to again, because this is a quarterback award. You have Dylan Gabriel, quarterback of the Oregon Ducks. I believe he's all-time leader in career touchdown passes in FBS now. I think he's second in career passing yards in FBS history. So he's right there. This season, I think he's 11th in the country in passing yards. So he's right there. So that's another guy that probably should get the call to New York City for the Heisman Trophy final ceremony. And the thing about him, too, his team is number one in the country and undefeated, right? So the winning plays a role also. I mean, all these things are things that we've got to think about when we are looking at this Heisman Trophy thing. Again, nobody is saying that Travis Hunter is not absolutely insane. What's up, Salam, Sneed? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, nobody's saying that Travis Hunter is not absolutely insane. It's just I think there's some other really good candidates, and it shouldn't be locked up yet. So that's just my opinion. I think that the voters for the Heisman they've got a heck of a situation on their hands. If it was me, it would probably be a toss-up between Shedeur or Ashton Genty, right? Because remember, wide receiver is a very dependent position, right? So even though Travis Hunter is getting busy as a wide receiver, who's throwing him the ball? Shedeur Sanders, right? So he's got to get a lot of the credit for what Travis Hunter is doing on that side of the ball. I don't think we can necessarily get overly enamored with the fact that he's playing all these snaps and he's doing both sides because, again, wide receiver is a dependent position. But that's me, man. What are your thoughts on what I had to say there and some of these other candidates?
No, I agree with you. Top five. I think a bigger story is where they're gonna end up after the Heisman, right? Like we know that those five players are easily top 10. I'll say top 10 because you never know in the draft. Sometimes teams don't like certain quarterbacks, right, for their to lead their team, and so I think easily those five players that you mentioned is top five easily. But like I said, the bigger story is where they're gonna end at, where they're gonna end up at the end of their, after the Heisman is over,
Right.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I
think that's a really really good story. I think maybe not tonight for this particular topic, but
right.
I can't agree with you. I see you snub Cam Ward though. You didn't put Cam Ward in there.
You know what? He should have been in there. You're right. I don't have an argument for that. I wouldn't even think about.
I
you're
right.
right.
Yeah.
So, he should have been in there. He's had a heck of a year himself. You're right.
So yeah, I mean, even so, like even with the players that you picked, and with the honorable mention of Cam Ward, I think still they definitely have their hands filled. It'll probably come back to preference, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and it will probably be a quarterback. Anytime you have all those many players dominating like you do, unfortunately for Travis Hunter, all the things he did, the playmaker that he is on offense, and the lockdown defender that he is, that may not be enough to solidify his position as a Heisman Trophy.
Right.
But nonetheless, kid is he a tier one athlete, and
absolutely
he has a decision to make. Man, am I going to play wide receiver and get the money, or am I going to play D back? And I don't know. Closest thing to I think Dion we've seen in a long time. Two-way player. Offense, defense, able to put points on the board at a defensive position, and in the offense position. But
great point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. And now you really got me thinking on this Cam Ward. There's no reason he shouldn't be a Heisman finalist. That means one of the guys that I chose would probably have to end up dropping out of there. The question is he gonna? Man, that's tough. I think you got to have Ashton. It's probably going to be Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, and Cam Ward. Dylan Gabriel might end up dropping out of there because the stats aren't eye-popping enough. However, if I don't even know if Syracuse held on to beat the U this afternoon. If Syracuse won that game, that means Miami has 2 losses, and they might hold the losses against the quarterback, right? Because a lot of times, unless you're doing something absolutely absurd, there you go. Syracuse beat Miami. Yes. 42-38. So there you go. So now you're in a situation where they may try to hold those losses against Cam Ward, they being the Heisman Trophy voters. So, yeah, this is going to get very interesting.
10-2, 9-3. That was only their second loss, though.
Yeah. But,
That was only their second loss. It's
yeah, and then
34 touchdowns, 7 picks, overall
crazy
QBR
numbers.
87. Yeah,
Yeah.
3,700 yards passing.
Fourth in the nation in passing yards, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that was a good point. Thank you for reminding me. Cam Ward should have definitely been in that discussion. This is going to be real interesting. Now the question is, I mean, how much do Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward hurt each other's Heisman chances, right? Because a lot of times you see, maybe it's something like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the MVP voting. Do they take points from each other? You know what I'm saying? Could be something like that. So I don't know.
I don't know the criteria. No, I don't think anybody know the criteria in which they
Nah,
they pick
like
the Heisman. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so this is great. I think Miami's in big trouble here. Yeah. Because now they got knocked out of the conference title game, so they have to depend on an at-large bid, depending on how the rest of this stuff plays out. And if Clemson wins the conference championship game against SMU, they'll get in. This is the best college football season I've seen in probably my entire life of watching college football. This is fantastic. I love this.
Yeah.
This 12-team playoffs is freaking amazing. All right. Cool. So do we want to go ahead and open up the phone lines here, my man? See if we get any calls on this. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead and 219-8264. I'll put the number in the chat, 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. Yeah, they got smashed by Penn State today, Chris, definitely. But Maryland is a basketball school, though. They've had a couple of guys go to the league in football, but they're primarily a basketball school. But yeah, why don't y'all, if anybody in the chat has anything to say about what's going on in college football today, as well as this topic, Travis Hunter for Heisman, who they think should get it, give us a call and let's get it. Yeah, Maryland, Frank Reich went to the league from Maryland, played a good amount of time. Boomer Esiason went to the league from Maryland. Sean Merriman, what's my man, Stephon Diggs. So I mean, they've sent some guys, but again, it's a basketball school. It's not so much football, which is crazy because that area produces some really good football players. So man, we're gonna get there, Laker Nation. We're gonna get Torrey Smith. That's another good one. Yes, thank you. Yep, that's another good one. We're gonna get there, Laker Nation. Chill. Let's let it marinate a little bit. We'll get there. All right. So it looks like we're probably not gonna have any calls on this one. So let's go ahead and move on. So this one I thought was interesting, right? Pat Riley, aka the Godfather, one of the most significant NBA lifers that we can name, right? This is a guy who won a championship as a player with the Lakers on what was that? Is that the 72-73 Lakers team, I believe, with Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West, the only one that Jerry West was able to win in his entire illustrious football career. What's up, Steve? What's up? Absolutely. Great way to close out the game with those 2 pick sixes. Anyway, so Pat Riley, one of the greatest NBA lifers ever, wins a championship as a player in the late 70s, wins 4 championships as a coach with the Lakers in the 80s, goes on and helps to turn the Knicks around and get them to the precipice to the NBA Finals, where they came up just short against the Rockets in 94. Then he goes to Miami after the Knicks, wins a championship as a head coach there in 06 with D Wade and Shaq. Then he follows that up with becoming an executive, wins Executive of the Year a few times. And of course, he puts the Heatles together, or assists in putting the Heatles together, wins 2 more championships there. So if I'm not mistaken, that is 8 championships as a player head coach and executive, and he is now, I believe the number is 24%. Crazy stat. He, over his career in the NBA, has been involved in 24% of all the NBA finals ever played. That's wild. Like one dude, 24% of every NBA finals ever played. That is like that says a lot, man. When you think of Pat Riley, what do you think about Jay?
Oh yeah, definitely one of the great ones that play the sport. They'll probably
Mm-hmm.
have 2 statues at 2 different arenas once
Yeah.
it's all said and done. Just hope they don't give him the same person that made D Wade. So Pat Riley has always been
That's
a
a great
guy
point.
who I think is a team builder. Right, he put teams together and he demand a certain level of discipline and
Mm-hmm.
respect
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the coaching
Facts.
position.
That's right.
And so yeah, man, a monster, bro. Like I think you
Yeah.
summed it up as best as could be. Like 24% and all finals ever played that's
That's
almost
wild.
unheard of. That's an unheard of
It
stat,
is.
bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody has more of an impact on one sport as he has. I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
probably a
don't
fair
know.
assessment.
I don't really know who else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And so the reason I brought that up is the reason I brought that whole Pat Riley thing up is because a couple days ago he was on the OG's podcast with Udonis Haslem and Mike Miller, and he talked about a variety of things. Did you know he got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys? That's crazy, right? That's crazy work. So yeah, he talked about his life, obviously his early life. He talked about his time as a Laker player. Then I think he was on like the radio announce team, and then he became like an assistant coach, and then he took over as head coach, did his thing there. Obviously, the main guy with the Showtime Lakers and all that. Then obviously he left the Lakers, went to the Knicks as we just detailed, and then he went to the Heat, and he's been there ever since. Partial owner of the Heat, the head man, president, blah blah blah. So anyway, he did all that. So the reason I bring Pat Riley up is because he was on the OG's podcast, like I said, with I'm forgetting the guy's name, Udonis Haslem and Mike Miller, and they had some interesting commentary. And one of the things he was talking about was NBA dynasties, and this was what kind of got me. So now as we've gone through all his bona fides, we understand that Pat Riley knows the game. He's been around the game for his entire adult life. Probably he's in his late 70s. So like 50 years now, he's been around the NBA. So a lot of what he says is probably true and based in knowledge. That doesn't mean we have to agree with everything. And this is where it comes up. So let's hear what he had to say that really kind of caught my attention. Let's check this out.
Look, there's been 3 dynasties in my mind in this league. Boston in the 60s, okay, 11 and 13 years for Bill Russell. That's why his number's hanging in the rafters of every arena in this league, because he deserves to be there. And so 11 and 13. And then the Lakers, Showtime. Yeah. 7 trips to the finals, 5 championships in 9 years. And so that was a dynasty. Michael's 6 and 7 years was dynastic, without a doubt. And I don't know if there's one now. I think you had San Antonio, and you got Golden State winning 4.
So this is where I thought it was really interesting. Why did I think it was interesting? He says, I don't know if you've got a dynasty now. So of course he mentions the Showtime Lakers 5 championships in 9 years. And he was a big part of that, right? He coached 4 of those championship teams. Totally get it. But he says, I don't know if you've got one now. So the first thing he mentions is San Antonio. And I think they had 5 titles over an 18-year stretch. And I want to say like 15 straight seasons with 50 wins or more. I think that's a record. But obviously Tim Duncan, the main linchpin of that quote unquote dynasty. But, they never won back to back, which a lot of people think is kind of criteria for a dynasty. They never won back to back. And they only won 5 titles over that 18-year stretch, which is like a little more than 1 title for every 3 years. Now, everybody would love that. But when you compare that to 11 titles in 13 years, or you compare that to 5 titles in 9 years, or you compare that to 6 titles in 8 years, it doesn't quite step up. So if you want to say that San Antonio wasn't a dynasty, okay, cool. But I think that their sustained excellence over that period probably puts them at dynasty, but fine. But what really stuck out to me, he says the Warriors weren't one. And the Warriors won 4 championships in 6 years. I don't know what more you need to be a dynasty, man. What are your thoughts on what he had to say? Do you think he was deliberately taking a shot at the Warriors and the Spurs, or you think he was just kind of saying what he felt based on his viewpoint of the game and of the league over all these years? I can't hear you. I think you're muted. Can't hear you. Go ahead. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Nah, I can't hear you. That's weird. Check your connection. See what you got. I can't hear you. Did you take your earbuds out? Oh, you still got it. Oh, no, I can't hear you. All right, while G goes ahead and gets that fixed, man, I'll talk to y'all some more. So, yeah, I thought that I'm really not sure why it is that he decided to say that the way he said it, that he doesn't feel like the Warriors are a dynasty. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what more would he really need to be, what more would Pat Riley need to consider the Warriors a dynasty? Is it, I don't know, like, what's missing for him? Does he not like the way Kevin Durant went there for part of that stretch? But I mean, he can't possibly feel that way when he was involved in the Heatles and LeBron doing what he did, right? Because as we all know, Kevin Durant doesn't make that move if LeBron doesn't demonstrate that it's okay to move that way, right? So I'm really not sure, and I'm curious to know, what people think about that. Go ahead, G.
It might be a real time thing where you look at. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
It might be a real time thing where you look at the Golden State Warriors now and say, you know what, they aren't a dynasty now, right? But to say that they built the team around, the coaching staff pretty much stayed the same with the exception of Mark Jackson, right? Steve Kerr kind of did. They moved some pieces, but for the most part, the core team has already been there. I know they won 4, so it's 5 the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's 5 the magic number. I mean, that's the only other thing that I can think of.
Great
like
point.
These guys definitely changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 titles, it looked like a dynasty to me.
In 6 years too, right? So yeah, I was saying maybe he doesn't like the way they won because KD went there, but then I'm saying, well, he's the last person that should be complaining about that because he helped put the Heatles together, right? And we all know that KD doesn't make that move if LeBron doesn't show that it's cool to move that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't exactly the same move KD did, but it's pretty. 10 years creates a dynasty. Well, if all right, cool, Laker Nation. I'm not mad at your assessment on that, but if that's the case, then what Pat Riley is saying about the Showtime Lakers, then that wasn't a dynasty either, right? That wasn't a dynasty because what they win? They won 5 championships in 9 years. He specifically stated that. And I'm not saying they weren't a dynasty. I'm just saying, to your point, based on what you said and what he said, then that shouldn't fit, right? And if that's the case, then the only real dynasty should be what? The Celtics, right? 11 titles in 13 years. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Celtics fan. I'm just saying based on the argument that 10 years creates a dynasty, which I don't believe, by the way. I just think it's any level of sustained dominance and winning over an extended period of time, right? 4 championships in 6 years, I think that's definitely a dynasty because what does that mean? That means at some point you went back to back, right? So you're doing that. 5 championships in 9 years, you went back to back at some time, and you were constantly in the finals. What is it? Dang, now that I think about it, the Lakers only missed the finals, I want to say twice in the entire decade of the 1980s. So, they were there a lot, right? And then, wait, did they miss it twice? They may have, no, they only missed it once in the entire decade, right? So Laker Nation is not even about that. But no, they only missed the finals once in the entire decade. That was 1986. And by the way, if they had made the finals in 86, that would have been the greatest final series ever. Those 86 Celtics that went 40-1 at home that year against those Lakers, man, that would have been absolutely incredible. We would have still been talking about it. But that's when the Rockets with the Twin Towers upset the Lakers in the conference finals in 86. But Lakers got back in 87 and they beat the Celtics. So, but still, I really wish we could have seen that one in 86. But the point is, I don't think 10 years makes a dynasty. I really don't. That 4 and 6 years, that's big. Now, if you're talking like championships, then you can argue that the Spurs are not a dynasty. But again, that continued and sustained excellence, that's big for me. But let's go ahead and hear what Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco had to say on Nightcap regarding Pat Riley's comments, and then we'll come back and respond to that.
I mean, you don't count 4 and 6 years of the dynasty?
I mean, I would think so. I would think so. Maybe, I mean, it depends on what Pat Riley's criteria is. Maybe his criteria is different than everybody else's.
First of all, you can't count the.
What could it possibly be?
Ocho, in the 60s, when the Celtics won, they had 8 teams. They had 8 teams. Now,
right.
And from the beginning, they had 7 Hall of Famers. At one point in time, 11 of their 12, 13 players were Hall of Famers. So I would like to think that you should when they won 8 in a row.
Right.
But I mean, how is that not? I mean, the Lakers won 5 and 9 years. 4 and 6 years, not a dynasty. So if the Lakers, if Golden State won another, that means they've won 5 and 9 years. So I'm confused, guys. Yeah, we got to Ocho.
Yeah,
I'm an old head too, Ocho. Look, I love the era that I played in. I'm protective of it, but I also give credit where credit's due. It's okay to give these new teams credit. That doesn't diminish what you did in the 80s. That doesn't diminish the Celtics in the 60s. That doesn't diminish Mike. They did that. But what? So if somebody don't win 6, they can't be so if somebody don't win 6 in that year. Oh man, there ain't no dynasty. If they don't win 5. Come on, bro.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Obviously, being an old head and having a difference in opinion when it comes to the criteria on what he feels a dynasty is, there's a complete disconnect.
Well, so if the Celtics players
from today's game as opposed to the game back in the day.
Let me ask you this: so if the Celtics say if you don't win 8 in a row, you're not a dynasty.
Man, shit,
thank you.
That's not happening. That's not happening. To be able to keep a team's core players together long enough to even win 8 is damn near impossible.
Yes.
And again, the game of basketball is different today anyway. It's completely different. So the chance of doing that is also impossible. And I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. The game of basketball was a little different.
Yes.
I don't want to say easier. I'm not saying a little easier. But as opposed to the players today and how much more skilled and more athletic they are,
they can shoot the ball
it's a little
better.
More difficult to win back-to-back like they would, as opposed to how they was doing back then.
You didn't have centers that could shoot the ball like these guys can shoot the ball now. And that's okay. There was no 6'10" guy like Anthony Davis. There was no guy like Joel Embiid. There's no guy like Nikola Jokic. And that's okay. That's not to diminish those guys. Those guys were great. But the guys, the skill, there are more guys that are able to do more things than they were back then. Yeah.
Okay, so your thoughts, man.
I'm sorry, man. I gotta chuckle. I laugh, man. It's okay to say that the guys back in the day wasn't scorers, but how far back is it going? Like, is it going 50s, 60s? Because last I heard, Wilt was like the most dominant big man that played the game, and that was relatively before my time. But we look at the big men today, and as basketball analysts, we can look at flaws in their game the same way flaws in their game. So it's always interesting when we have like pro football guys talking basketball, right? Because this is like some of the stuff just doesn't make sense. But I mean, they made some really, really good points, especially about your Celtics and only being 8 teams in the league and rule changes and all those things. Okay, all right, that makes sense, but you can't take away from the fact that the people are still playing basketball, bro. Like these teams want to win right now, and so to build a dynasty, that means that you have to draft at least 3 years. You have to get some of the best players that come in the league, and that's not always going to be the fate. You have your front office has to be in check, right? You have to have a GM that's willing to go out and pay guys that you need to pay to build teams for a long period of time. And it's like finding a unicorn nowadays. You'll see people just want money. Like that's just it. So I agree with a lot of stuff they said, but a lot of stuff was way off the mark. But we expect to get that from Nightcap.
So, all right. So let me digress for a second with one of the things that he said. I'm always kind of confused when they always point to the 60s Celtics and the league only having 8 teams. Okay, I get it. League only had 8 teams. Do you know what that says to me, though? That says it's harder to win because the talent is more concentrated and all the players know each other and their tendencies and their teams extremely well, right? So it's, for instance, we talk about Lamar Jackson being 23-1 in his career against the NFC. Absolute monster, right? Part of that, though, is that they don't get to play against him as often, right? So there's no real way to prepare. If they got to play against him as often as the AFC North teams, right, they would know him a little better and the games would be more competitive. Am I right? But every time he plays against the NFC, get out the Ginsu. He's cutting them up, right? Easy.
Oh, yeah.
So, right. And so that's why I say, like, if there's only 8 teams, we shouldn't use that to knock those Celtics. And I would say that whether it was the Lakers or the St. Louis Hawks or whoever it was, right? It just means the talent in that league at that time was more concentrated. So I don't really use that as I really don't like to use that as an excuse. And then so it's funny that he says, well, he's trying to say, well, we can't diss the teams from the other eras, but that's exactly what he started out doing with the 60 Celtics, but it's all good. But yeah, and then real quick, he always talks about, well, they didn't have big men who can shoot the ball like they can now. Cool. But those same bigs now that can shoot the ball can't go to the block and get you a basket. So it's like, we got to stop this. We have
And
got
those shots aren't high percentage shots, bro. Like, I mean, there's it's a high percentage shot.
right.
Goodness gracious, bro.
Right.
Like,
Right.
man.
But yeah, back to the main topic. I thought it was just so interesting that Pat Riley deliberately says he didn't know if there's a dynasty today. And for the life of me, I can't imagine why 4 titles in 6 years doesn't qualify. Like, that doesn't make any sense, because that means, that's a number of finals runs you went to. And again, you have a repeat in there, and you have, because at one point where they went to 4 straight finals, right? I guess they only missed like 1 year, right?
Yeah, it might just be the biasness, right? He probably felt it has to be some level of bias there.
But why? Like, where's the bias? It's not like the Heatles played against them and got beat in the finals. You know what I'm saying?
Well, remember when he was putting together his dynasty down with Bosh and Wade and LeBron James, it didn't work the way he wanted it to work out.
Right.
So that's much of that is probably because of Golden State, right? Like, I think they capped off. They started getting crazy right around the same time that their dynasty started breaking up.
Well, no, Golden State won their first championship in 2015, and the Heatles had already broken up after 2013. So there was a little gap in between before Golden State started going off. LeBron was already back in Cleveland when that happened.
Yes, I remember. That was their first.
So
it was their first. Mark Jackson just came in the league.
Right. So I'm just like, well, why does he? I don't know. I don't think he should have any particular animus towards Golden State. It's not like they stopped him from getting a title or something. So like, I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Excuse me. I thought that was super interesting, and I wanted to bring it up and talk about it a little bit, because I was just like, yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I get it when Pat Riley. I get how much he loves the Showtime Lakers, as realistically any basketball fan should, because they played some of the prettiest basketball we've ever seen, right? Greatest floor general, arguably greatest center, top 3 player of all time, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in my opinion, top 3 player of all time, Irvin Magic Johnson. So like, if you love basketball, other than, the Celtics-Lakers rivalry, you can't really hate the Lakers, right? Because the basketball was so beautiful that they played, right? So that's that. But And I get it. He coached them to, multiple finals and 4 championship runs. So he's going to have a lot of love for them. And I totally see it. But I don't think that means that you have to, leave out what the Warriors have done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, it was also interesting that later in that interview, one of the things I think he was asked if it was his Showtime Lakers versus the Heatles, who did he think would win? So let me ask you that before I even get to that, man. If you got the Heatles in their prime, Showtime Lakers in their prime, who are you picking?
The Lakers.
Same. Same. Heatles got no answer for Kareem, no answer for Magic.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think you can put what's my man's name? You can put Cooper on LeBron and slow him down, and you put Byron Scott on D Wade, and that's a good matchup right there. I think that's fine.
But you said prime Heat versus prime Lakers, right?
Yeah.
Is LeBron on that team? Is the question.
Yeah. LeBron's on that Heatles team. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
LeBron, Bosh, D Wade, that team. Even if you put Ray Allen, put them, and then you have the prime Showtime Lakers. Let's say 1985 or 1987 edition. Laker Nation, which one was better, the 85 team or the 87 team? Both of them beat my Celtics, so but I think they were both incredible. But who would you say? But yeah, I think I would pick either iteration of those Lakers against the Heatles. I think they beat them because Bosh can't do anything with Kareem, and that was even an aged Kareem, but I think he still couldn't deal with him. So you got that, and like I said, you get Michael Cooper, who is one of the best defensive players in the league. You put his length on LeBron, and then you deal with you put Byron Scott with D Wade. Like, it's not a bad matchup at all. Let's see. Laker Nation says, what are the guidelines for a dynasty? If we say 5 chips, then the Lakers have 2 dynasties, the Celtics has 1, the Spurs have 1, and the Warriors have 1. I don't think it's necessarily has to be 5 championships. I just think it has to be, a sustained number. It could be 3, right? 3 in 5 years, that's a mini dynasty. I got no problem there, right? Especially if you get the back-to-back, or you just probably just more than 2 in any short period. And then especially if you get a back-to-back there. Heat in 6.
I mean, the Heat team lost to Dallas Mavericks with aging.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, he was halfway.
Right.
One for them was a Jason Kidd, old ass Jason Kidd, old ass Dirk, and old ass Dirk. So, yeah, I don't know.
JJ Terry, JJ Barea. Come on, man. You talking about the Heat in 6 over the Showtime Lakers? Cut it out. You wilding right now. There's no way. No way. But so what we'll do, I think this was interesting. We'll go ahead and open up the phone lines. You had anything else, G? I definitely hope we can get some commentary on this, and then we'll go ahead and get to the next one. This might be a quick show.
Yeah.
85 Lakers with McAdoo. Okay, there you go. So 85 Lakers, Laker Nation versus the prime Heatles. I think the Heatles get run off the floor. 5 or 6 games. I don't think they stand a chance.
Just the level of basketball IQ didn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they get run off the floor. So phone lines are open. Why don't y'all give us a call? Let us know what you think about Pat Riley's comments on NBA dynasties. Let us know where you are on prime Showtime Lakers versus the prime Heatles. Definitely would like to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Let's get it.
That was a good one. I like that.
Thank you.
It was easy though. It was a layup, but
I think it was a layup too. But you'll have some people out there that's going to try to say that the Heat would beat the Showtime Lakers. I don't know what they on. Hey, call in, Nino. Absolutely, yeah. Let's get it. Let's see what we got.
Be able to tell us why Dirk with 9 fingers was able to.
Bruce, what up, man?
What's going on with y'all boys, man?
Maintaining. What you got, bro?
So what's the main idea? What's the main question?
So
like, I'm just coming on.
No doubt. So the first question was, what do you think about Pat Riley saying that he's not sure that there's dynasties in the NBA today, and even though Golden State has 4 titles in 6 years, which should qualify as a dynasty, and 2, who do you think wins prime Heatles versus prime Showtime Lakers in a series for the title?
Oh, okay. It is a dynasty. It is. He's not gonna try to get Golden State. They go, well, State is a dynasty. They won 4 rings.
I would think so.
What,
in 6 years, yeah.
Yeah, man. Come on, stop that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike won one this year. How good they playing? You can't say that.
Yeah, they balling.
They still cooking.
Yeah, they balling.
So I disagree with Pat Riley. He's one of those old school guys who's stuck in the old school. You can tell how he run his organization that he's still stuck in the old school. But that's all fine.
Okay. No. I want to hear this. Why is he in old school?
He got the old series though. He got a no nonsense way of thinking. You already know that. He don't play that. He don't play no game.
That doesn't mean he's stuck in the Yeah, go ahead.
No, I want to say stuck in the old. He just got that mentality like
that he knows what success is.
No. Ain't nothing wrong. But Pat Riley, he put it like this. Let me say this. Let me reiterate.
Okay.
I disagree with him saying there's no dynasty. That's a lie.
I agree.
Golden State is a dynasty. I disagree. He's not giving them their credit. I want to say he's stuck in the old school. They kind of got like a lot of those guys like that come up in the 80s and the 70s. They got like a majority of them. You don't see majority of them giving credit to the new schools. Like a mentality that they had, which I understand because the modern game is soft. It's just soft with all these new implications and shit that's going on with it. So I just think he put it like if he did this wrong. I just don't believe. I believe that Golden State is a dynasty, and he's stuck. He Pat Riley a little stubborn. Like he wouldn't let. When LeBron was down, he wouldn't let his crew, he wouldn't let Rich Paul and them do they want to do like other organizations did.
And he shouldn't.
You know, like he got out on, he really can't stand Jimmy Butler. He love him. But remember last summer he said, Jimmy Butler, you need to shut up. Remember he said that?
I agree.
Like, yeah, so, Pat Riley, he's stern. He an old gangster. He ain't with the TikTok age shit, basically. He just ain't with the bullshit. You know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
all it is. He's not a Mark Cuban. He's stern. Far as the Heatles and the Showtime Lakers, man,
that's not even it's
going 7 because I got Lakers in 7 because Kareem was old. Hold up. You talking about the Showtime Lakers, like
yes, sir.
mid-80s Lakers?
Yeah.
With Mike Coop, Byron Scott.
Yeah, Laker Nation
Ball
says
McAdoo.
85 was the best team. So let's go with the 85 Lakers.
That's what Mike Cooper in there.
That's right.
Kareem was still moving.
If I'm not mistaken, Kareem got Finals MVP in 85. So,
Yes. Yeah, I think they're in 7. It's 6.
There you go. Now you're learning.
But I ain't got nobody checking LeBron. I ain't got nobody checking. Coop too skinny.
He is, but here's the problem though. LeBron couldn't go to the post, so Cooper's length would give LeBron problems, and he'd be able to stay in front of him.
Oh, I mean, you talking about prime? Talking about Heatles, LeBron? That's the best. That's like the best with the black mask. That's like that was Vanos right there. It wasn't nothing in prime D-Wade. Come on, man, stop it. Give him some credit, but. No. Overall, I got the Lakers. I got the Showtime Lakers beat because just the cohesiveness, basically. So yeah, I ain't got Miami messing with the 85 Lakers. No, I'm gonna be
okay. Good.
Yeah. So I'll call back on the next topic.
All right, good stuff, brother. Appreciate the call.
What's up, boo boo?
Appreciate the call, man. All right. Nino, go ahead and call us back, man. Call us back, Nino. I saw y'all. I was on the call with Bruce, man. Call us back. So yeah, I thought it was interesting that Bruce said like, all right, let's take this and then we'll get back to what Bruce said. Nino, what's good, man? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Y'all doing all right?
Maintaining, always.
Man, you know Pat Riley, I hate him, man. Come on, man. Pat Riley don't like nothing.
You said he don't like nothing?
He don't like nothing but D-Wade. UD. He don't like nothing. Now, Pat Riley don't like nothing. But he got that old school mindset, man.
So what does that mean, though, when you say that?
No credit. He don't want to give the Warriors no credit because KD, because you said it. So you not got a mindset or know how he thinking. You didn't agree with him, but you know exactly what he thinks.
Well, I don't know that that's the case.
KD
I was asking the question. I don't know if that's the case. I was asking,
I know that's what he thinking. You know it too. Yeah, I ain't giving him no credit. He don't respect it. It's a lot of them. Don't respect it. Just like
I don't either.
They don't respect bro going to Miami.
I don't respect that either.
So he probably give him 2 out of. He probably give him 2 out of 4. That's how Pat Riley looking at it. That's how Pat Riley looking at it.
I hear you on that. I hear you.
You want to get down to why the Heat and Seat? That's what you want to get down to.
What was that?
Why the Heat gonna beat them boys? Why the Heat would beat them boys and Seat?
Nah, that wouldn't happen, man. But let me hear what you got to say. But let me hear why you think that.
It's simple. It's simple math.
Okay.
The 3 is more than 2. This what I'm telling you. Now we can't give you the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
This what we can't do. We can't give the mindset what if Kareem worked on his 3 and all of this. We can't do that. We gotta
not doing that.
How they play in their era,
yes,
versus the era the Heat play.
But those
and you know who gonna win the game? Chris Bosh gonna win.
But those Heat teams, those weren't elite 3-point shooting teams, though. Like we can't talk like they were Golden State or something.
No, the first team.
Now, you talking about with Mike Miller team. And all them? Okay.
They might beat the first team.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna give you. Now I gotta give it up what it do. Because if you remember what Dallas did to LeBron and Wade, that's what started the new NBA. They said, "Hold on," and that's the same thing the Heat gonna do to the Lakers. They ain't even gonna be pressing. They ain't gonna be pressing Magic Johnson up there at the 3-point line. Let them shoot.
Nah, but here's the thing, right? Here's where I see the difference, right? So a lot of people don't realize that those Lakers teams were really good defensively because you have to be good defensively to be able to get out and transition the way they did, right? Also, they were a great rebounding team. Why? Pat Riley, he always pushed it. No rebounds, no rings, right? In order to get out in transition, you got to control the backboard. You do that, and then you can really get out. And so the Heat, if you notice, they were a poor rebounding team in general. They weren't an elite 3-point shooting team in general, right? They could shoot, but they weren't an elite 3-point shooting team. I don't think they had any answer for Magic. And when that Showtime get cranked up and start running, I don't think the Heat would have anything to do with it. I don't think they could do anything with them. They would lose in 6.
Hear me out, Bruce. Hear me out, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
The Heat wanted to do the same thing the Lakers do. They wanted to be Showtime. That's what I'm telling you. How did the Mavericks stop them? Slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
Let LeBron shoot the 3. Because you know illegal defense now. They crowded the paint.
Mm-hmm.
They started to build a wall. And I'm gonna beat LeBron fan. You know, I think LeBron the best. But what made him the best is that series there when they let him shoot. They said, "Hold on, we ain't finna hold him." And he throw it over there the way he can't take the 3. They're gonna do the same thing. They will do the same thing to the Lakers, except for we talking year 2 where they got Ray Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Then the bench got Mike Miller and Chris Bosh gonna be at the 3-point line. Kareem never seen this before. Now he gonna come out there. I'm not holding no son at the 3-point line. And before you know it, they're gonna be down 20.
So here goes the problem, right? Chris Bosh still gonna have to have it. Is he still gonna have his legs under him when he has to defend Kareem on the low block? He knows nothing about that. Or he might mess around and foul out trying to D up Kareem on the low block. He's gonna have problems.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah,
it's gonna be rough down there, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's no contest, though.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah,
it's gonna be rough down there,
right?
But so Magic gonna see some shit he ain't never seen before.
And what is that?
Nobody's gonna hold Magic at the 3. They gonna be damn near at the free throw line. Holding Magic Johnson, they can be damn near at the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
He never seen that. Now there's no illegal defense.
But here's the problem.
You don't have to hold a guy that can't shoot. You don't have to be nowhere near him.
So you don't think Magic gonna be able to find the cutters and throw that bullet past to the hit guys? He doesn't have to be a liability.
They congest the paint. That's what they doing. That's what people want people to shoot so they can spread it out. They found the way. It's just like NFL. They found the way. Like, hold on, we've been holding every time you talk to basketball to get up on your man and press him. They thought about it. They said, hold on, we can't stop LeBron from doing this shit. They gonna win.
Right.
Who it was? Rick Carlisle, whoever it was, said, hold on, he ain't the best shooter. And when he spread it, he throwing it over there to Dwayne Wade. He ain't the best shooter. Then you got Joel Anthony over there. You got 3 non-shooters. We're gonna all make a wall. Hell, you damn near at the free throw line. Your man, they're holding D Wade. He down there at the free throw line. They do the same thing to Magic. Now, you know who was it? Now you know who got those status for this. You know who you couldn't do this against?
Who?
The Bulls. So you know why they had to spread, and that's what I'm telling people, bro. Phil deserve a lot of credit because how he moved it, and he kept a big man. How he moved Jordan to damn near the post position like he did Kobe, where you can't sit out there and double team in Pecker's lane. And he got a man out there that's a little big man that can spread the flow. You know, they wasn't shooting threes, but he had that midi.
Right.
So Phil had a lot to do with changing the game. But the Lakers, because if the Mavericks would have played defense like everybody else, instead of going to that like the soft zone, they would have lost that series.
Nah, man, I don't think they could stop the Lakers from getting out, man. I really don't. I don't think they could stop them from getting out in transition and running what they do. And then again, to me, it's just simple that they couldn't deal with Kareem on the block. I don't see it. I don't see it. Now, do they get swept? No, they don't get swept. Yeah, go ahead, G.
Was Worthy coming out the bench?
No, Worthy was a starter. Worthy was a starter at the 3. And that's another problem. Like LeBron got to run with that dude and deal with him and try to defend him. Yeah, I don't know.
We talking about prime Bron.
Right. I know.
We talking about defense playing Bron. Not this Bron last year probably.
No, I understand. Well, we talking about help defense playing Bron. We're not talking about strapping up and locking down somebody. LeBron has always been a great help defender. You never saw him say, this is my assignment and I'm taking it for the whole game and take him out the game. LeBron's not capable of doing that. We've never seen it. He's not doing that.
Yeah.
We seen LeBron do that. We seen him boy lock stuff up now.
No, we did not. We have not.
Now he couldn't lock up Paul Pierce and Kobe, but people act like y'all know a guy that could lock up Paul Pierce and Kobe.
No, but what I'm saying,
people be talking like, but the normal matchup, he on top of that.
Nah, I don't see it. But Nino, let me go, man. We got a couple calls waiting in the queue, man. I appreciate it as always, man. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate the passion.
Oh yeah.
No doubt. Laker Nation, you up next, brother.
Way to keep that balance, man, because the whole chat was like Lakers in 6.
Yeah. No, I think
he brought a different perspective to it, though. He definitely brought a different perspective to it. Made you think about things a little differently. Like I thought it was a no-brainer. About it all. Yeah, I thought it was a no-brainer, but
right. Let's get this. Laker Nation, what's up, brother?
Hey, I'm just calling in to shut up all this nonsense that's been coming on these last 2 calls.
Oh, man. Okay, what you got, man?
Let me break this down. Because the 85 Lakers is 100 times better than those 2011 Mavericks that carved up that Heat season.
Touche.
They had depth up there, more depth than the Heat does. Look at what they have coming off the bench. You got 10-year vet Jamal Wilkes coming off the bench.
Silk.
You got Bob McAdoo,
former league leading scorer.
Exactly. You got a young Kurt Rambis that's just going to go out there and bang bodies.
True.
Nice. You got Michael Cooper, 6-year vet.
Cooper Loop.
Swapping minutes with Byron Scott, this was his rookie year. So Cooper's getting the majority of the minutes. Plus, you had an old battle-torn Jason Kidd that carved up that defense.
That's a great point.
And you got them facing a Matty Johnson getting into his prime in his 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
That 6'9" is all man that will destroy them. Then you got Kareem, who all won Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're not worried about that floor being spread. You know, they're not going to sacrifice Kareem out there. It don't matter which rules we go on with. You can go with the modern day rules.
Mm-hmm.
If they go modern day rules, they would sweep them. If they go with back in the day rules, I give them maybe one game. I give the Heat maybe one game.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter which era they're playing in. You got Worthy. This is what his third. That was his 3rd year, so he was still a baby. But if you don't think Worthy could offset what Chris Bosh is doing, you're sick in the head.
Yeah, and I think the problem is that LeBron would have to defend Worthy, and Worthy would be running that dude all over the place. That would not be an easy assignment at all.
They're not going. They don't have to put magic on LeBron. They could put Worthy on. You know, they can put Bob McAdoo on. He may not. He'll have the size, but you know, LeBron will have the weight on him. But you don't have to do it for long stretches.
Mm-hmm.
You got Coop 6'7". He's like another Scottie Pippen.
Yep, that's exactly what he was.
He's not going to shut down D Wade, but he's going to make his day hard.
Right.
And you can give them. I can't remember who they'll. You can take any one of those Heat teams in those 4 years. They not seeing that Lakers team. Matter of fact, they won't even touch the Celtics team who the Lakers faced in the final.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
The Celtics had more bruisers and they had equal depth.
Mm-hmm.
That can handle that Heat team. So either way it goes, either team in that finals is beating them in they either sweeping them or beating them in 5. Either team, you can go with the Lakers or you can go with the Celtics, because the Celtics was equally as strong.
Right.
Because they got nobody that's going to contain Dennis Johnson.
Right.
Danny Ainge was spraying it from everywhere, and it was only his 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
You got a young Larry Bird before the back problems. He's torturing them.
Yep.
They had a rookie, Rick Carlisle. He was a bruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Get it twisted. Don't sleep on Coach.
Right. Nah, he played all.
You had a young Kevin McHale. You have a Robert Parrish that was in his prime. Man, they not seeing either one.
Well, there you have it.
So I just wish people know they do these. I wish these LeBron fans do their research before they call in. Like, oh yeah, we're LeBron team. LeBron goes, man. No, he's not. He's not. No, he's not seeing either one. They had problems with the old aging Spurs team, who is not seeing either one of these squads either. Like, I'm not putting them on a pedestal. I'm just speaking truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, them teams back then were built different.
Yeah, they were.
Right. They were built different. So Ray Allen is not getting those free looks that you think he is. Yeah, he's gonna get some, but he's not gonna get his free looks. The only chance they have is LeBron will have to play out of his mind, which is proven throughout the whole 23 years in his league, that if you get in his space,
yep,
he's not gonna do nothing.
Yep.
Pat Beverly proves that.
Isn't that crazy?
JJ Barea proves that.
Isn't that crazy?
Kawhi proves that when they ran against the Spurs, and that was a baby Kawhi before he even became Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant proved that too, because all he was doing was just busting his ass on the offensive end, and he couldn't step up to the challenge.
Right.
So his mental, he's gonna break down. Because the Lakers and the Celtics, they're gonna test you mentally.
I agree.
Because they're not going to stop coming. They're going to keep coming. Now they're not going to give. They're not going to give. The Lakers going to run that until for the whole 48 minutes.
And that was my biggest thing, like, because, you know, the Lakers believed in rebounding, controlling the glass, and getting out on the break. And those Heat teams, even though they won championships, they were poor rebounding teams. And you're not going to win that way. You have to be able to get on the glass and control the possessions. But, you know, you let those Lakers teams hit the glass, and they gone by the time you know, they already up the floor.
They too small, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, besides, I should just look up their roster. Besides, United Haslam ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Boss ain't, who they gonna have to check that's gonna check Kareem on that block?
That was exactly that was something I said in the last caller. Yeah, he would be in big trouble. Nobody.
You can take Kareem, like, we can just bench Kareem, don't even play him, and we still will mop the floor with him. You can take Kareem out of it.
Okay.
Take Kareem out of it. We'll go small, and we'll still bust their ass.
There you go. You
don't even have to put Kareem out there.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that no one mentioned.
Play center.
One thing no one mentioned was that Pat Riley was the coach, right? And so I'm sure, you know, he would be able to carve up his understudy.
Great point.
Yeah, Pat Riley was.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's the only problem. Yeah, Pat Riley was the coach of the Lakers, and he was the exec on the Heat. He wasn't the coach, but he'll have to pick a side, whichever side he's gonna be on.
You know what side he's gonna be on. We already know what side he's gonna be on. But thank you for the call, Laker Nation, man. I appreciate it. I think Steve was up next, so we're gonna get to that. And then
I'm gonna let Steve go, but I'm gonna say this before you go. Just remember, I don't know how many games the Heat won, but that year Celtics won 63. They were 63-19 that year with a very young squad, and the Lakers was 62-20 that year.
There you go. Yeah, I don't like thinking about 85, man. It's painful, but it's okay.
Hey, you asked me which one to pick.
No, I know.
Was a better team. 85 was a better team.
Well, it doesn't matter because 87 was the same result. So
87 was solid too.
Either way, I'm in pain, man. But thank you for the call, Laker Nation. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, bet.
All right, no doubt. All right, Steve, your turn, man. You up next, man. Go ahead, give us a call, and then we will move on to that next topic. We got Steve. What's going on, brother?
What up, Bruce? What up, G? Yeah, man. Well, feeling pretty marvelous after an Ohio State loss and a Notre Dame win. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Real good. But first off, it's not even worth talking about that Miami Heat team versus Showtime. I mean, it's just a waste of breath. It's like it's not even worth the debate. And I love Nino. Nino's my guy. But you're pulling a hamstring stretching for that Miami team, talking about how they would compete. I'll be honest. If I were a betting man, I would take Showtime in a sweep. I'll be generous and grant Miami a game just because maybe there's one bad off night, but in a series, they just have – there's nothing Miami can do defensively. I mean, they had good athletes in Wade and LeBron in transition and stuff, but they never really had a true guy to orchestrate that against something that Showtime would bring. Magic is the ultimate orchestrator, but he's the greatest point guard to ever touch a basketball.
Without question.
He's going to lead that fast break. And if you try to combat that, I'm putting my money on them in the open floor against that Miami team, because that's how Miami would have to play.
Mm-hmm.
That Miami team was not effective in the half court. They had an old Ray Allen that could shoot, a Mike Miller that could hit some shots, but consistently in a series against guys that would check them, they didn't have the shooting. They could I don't even think the Golden State dynasty, I'll get into that too. I don't even think the Golden State dynasty would shoot well enough to really beat that Showtime team in a series.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about probably the best group of talented shooters in basketball with Clay, Steph, and KD. I wouldn't even bet on them being able to outshoot what Showtime could do in the open floor in a series. There's no way that Miami team would compete with them.
Well, there you have it. I do think that Miami could get 2 games out of a series. I think they could get 2. And
really?
I think they would lose 4 games to 2. I do believe that they can't beat the Lakers in a series, those Lakers, but I think they could get 2.
What do you think they would go to? I mean, what's the matchup? Where's the, like, I'm willing to grant 1 game because of a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I just don't know. Like, that Miami team, people got to remember, they were not very effective in the half court. So things slowed down. I just feel like LA would be able to impose themselves. And then in the open floor, it's like you're trying to outrace a Ferrari at that point.
That's true, but the only thing I'll say, those Heat teams were among the best perimeter defensive teams I've ever seen. I think without question, the best perimeter defensive team I've ever seen were the Jordan Bulls' second three-peat, Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. But those Heat teams were really, really outstanding on the perimeter. And those teams could turn defense into offense faster than just about anybody I've ever seen. I got to give the credit there. When those guys got a deflected pass or when they got a steal, like 2 dribbles later, that thing was a dunk on the other end. So I think that their ability to do that constantly will get them a couple of games. Because we got to remember, like, as great as Magic was, and there's no disrespect, he did have high turnover numbers for his career, right? So you could get him turning the ball over. And, go ahead.
I grant that, but I also feel like that's a lot of the pace in which they played.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair.
And I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Like, there will be turnovers to be had, but I think a lot of those stats inflated a little bit because LA was just pushing the ball. I mean, that's just how they play. So it's a lot of like the metrics when you see in today's game, like some of these things just get inflated because of the pace of the game. LA was above the time. They were before the time, the way they were pushing the ball, the way that Showtime flowed. So, but I'll even grant that. But that would be like the one game I'd give. I don't see Miami beating them 2 games. That's just my opinion.
That's fair.
But to the first point, and I hate this label. Last time I called, we complained about this where people just, you're a hater, you're a hater. That kind of sounds like a little bit of a hater, man. That's kind of petty. Because I don't really understand. He didn't really articulate like why he wouldn't consider Golden State a dynasty. It was just a blanket statement.
Yeah, that was
without
weird.
him articulating it. I have to be honest. It just kind of sounds like a hater. Now, the way the dynasties are built in this free agency era versus the time of old, I would agree it's different. But a dynasty is a dynasty. You win over 3 rings within an 8 to 10 year span. And I think Golden State did. I think you said 6. I mean, like you'd have to articulate why that wouldn't be a dynasty.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I did listen after that to see what he kind of said, but he, to your point, did not really articulate why. So we're not sure. And so I really have no idea why he would say that. But, Shannon actually said it well. He says, well, the Lakers won 5 titles in 9 years. Golden State won 4 and 6. So if they had won one more, would they then be a dynasty? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so.
and this is like when you get in these kind of like back and forth debates, whatever have you. It's important to define your words. So it's like, what how do we define dynasty? And then who would be the authority that you would go with as far as the definition?
Yeah.
Because definitions can be subjective. So it's like, what would be the authority to establish, all right, this is the criteria of said dynasty, and then we're going to evaluate from there. So I don't know. I mean, my subjective, you have to win 3 or more rings within a certain time span, and I would consider that a dynasty.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of there as well.
Seems like the magic number. If you win 2,
Mm-hmm.
you're a really good team.
Really
if
good
you win
team.
3, I think now your 3 gets kind of like, this is dynasty.
Yep, I agree. I think I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Anyway, I don't want to take up all your time, brother.
Man, I appreciate the call.
Irish.
Always.
Go Irish.
Always.
I love it, baby. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now
All
get a
right,
week
fellas,
off to
have a
sit
good
back
one.
and see what happens. But yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk, Steve.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, G.
All right, G. Let's you ready?
Yes,
Take
sir.
it to the main event here. We just flowing real smooth, like right down these topics. That's what's up. Well, we try to transform and talk a lot, don't he?
You know, once we get started, even any one of us, once we get started, that's it.
Facts,
4 hours. 4
no
hours
doubt.
on the board.
No doubt.
Don't
And you know
remember
what
nothing.
happened. But I promise you, I will not be going down the rabbit hole on this one. We're going to talk about it, but I'm not going to let it go crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the topics to get you.
Nah, we good. All right, here we go. Next topic. All right, here's the deal. You got a lot of people out here who want to tell you LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. People have a right to think what they think. You have a lot of people that will try to tell you that because of his longevity and all his tremendous accomplishments and accolades, that he's better than Michael Jordan. But the funny thing about that is he still doesn't have all the accolades that Michael Jordan has, but he is racking up statistics on statistics on statistics, and he knows what he's doing. That is why he's staying around this long, right? He knows he's not winning any more championships, but what? He's staying around because he says, well, if I build up the case on paper, if I build up the resume, then people will have to agree that I'm better than Michael Jordan. But no, only blind people might agree with that, right? That's really, it's just not the case if you watch the two play. And even still, if you're counting the accolades, it's just not there. And then, if you get into all the other nonsense and machinations LeBron has done to try and manipulate his career and manufacture all of this stuff, he will never, ever be greater than Jordan. But that is what it is. But at the end of the day, this is where we come to the title of this topic. LeBron James is still chasing Michael Jordan. Remember, he said a couple of years ago, he's still chasing that ghost in Chicago, right? I want to say like last year, he said something along the lines. He slipped and said it about Jordan being the greatest of all time, right? So, what's up, Larry Jameson? I think you knew, man. I don't know if I've seen you here before, man. Hit the like and subscribe, brother. Thank you for checking in. Larry Jameson says LeBron James ain't better than Kobe Bryant. People's glossing over NBA players. Right. So that's funny. I've talked about this before. G's heard me say it. We've had this discussion. It's so interesting how you get a lot of people who will tell me specifically, well, you never played, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But we have player after player after player, guys who played at a high level, etc., who are going to tell you that Kobe is better than LeBron. We just heard Steph Marbury say it like last week on one of the he was on Mark Jackson's podcast, and he made it clear that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, greatest of all time. And then he said the same thing Allen Iverson, Shaquille O'Neal said, like, how we just glossing over Kobe. We just skipping past him for LeBron, right? So, no, Bron is also not better than Kareem. You are correct, Sneed. You are correct. Sabir Talib. Yo, what's going on, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Salam. I would also add in Dynasty that the team has the same core players. Yeah, I like that. Okay, that's the previous topic. I got you. Thank you. But yeah, so this whole business of LeBron supposedly being the GOAT or LeBron being the second best player of all time. But the fact is, even with all his statistical dominance, he's still chasing Michael Jordan. Why is he still chasing Michael? What made me think about this, right? LeBron James is he's second now. I think he's 3 games behind Michael Jordan in career 30-point scoring games, right? So after when he scores his next 4 30-point outings, he will have the most 30-point games in history. It'd be like 560 something. I can't remember the exact number. I thought I wrote it down. Pardon me. But the point is, So he's going to have another one, right? So you got these idiots now saying that, oh, he's the greatest scorer of all time. Yes, he has scored the most points in professional basketball history. Does that make him the greatest scorer of all time? Of course not. Edward Jackson says Steph Marbury was high on Vaseline. Plus, he felt some kind of way about LeBron again. Everybody has their rights to their own opinion. Edward, yes, years ago he ate the Vaseline. That was terrible. But the fact is, are we going to act like Steph Marbury doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to basketball? He's been an all-star. I believe he's been third-team All-NBA. He also played against LeBron. He played against Kobe. He played against Michael Jordan. The dude was in the league for, 14, 15 years, something like that? I think he knows a little bit about basketball. He's played against a lot of guys. I was getting there, Laker Nation. I was getting there. So Larry Jameson says it's like ever since LeBron James came into the league, they just talked about the stats with him. Kobe Bryant don't care about stats. I think you're right. So if you notice, that's one of the big things, right? LeBron's whole thing is he's like, okay, I got to reach this statistical plateau. I got to play this long. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's not with him. It hasn't been so much about becoming the greatest player that he could be. It hasn't been so much about him developing his game to a point. It's about him trying to build the paper man. That's the expression. Build the paper man so that he has the resume on paper so that when it comes down to it, people who never saw Jordan play, they could just compare stats blindly across eras and say, oh my God, how can we say that Jordan was better than LeBron, right? And as we know, LeBron has done everything, right? He's manipulated the media. We know that for a fact, not my opinion, right? He's tried to manipulate everything to create this image that he's better than Michael Jordan. He's trying to manipulate the stats. He knows he's not going to win a championship again, right? He knows that. But guess what? He figures if I get enough stats, then they can't argue with me. So but I could go for a while. But, G, man, your thoughts here on LeBron still chasing Michael Jordan, and we're going to get some more into that in a bit.
LeBron James is the best point forward to play the game.
I don't even know if I can agree with that, but go ahead.
But as far as the GOAT, Michael Jordan will always be the GOAT. I shouldn't have had to watch 113 seasons one to equal. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like, would you watch like 5 seasons of, Game of Thrones when you can just watch like the Wire, some shit? I don't know. It's just
I get it.
Terrible analogy, right? On my that's my fault. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like there's a lot of winless seasons. He got too many winless seasons. When I say winless, I mean chip-wise.
No, I get it. Right? Yeah.
Too many winless seasons. And when you look at MJ's, everything's concentrated, right? Like you can watch a MJ game and you might have to watch 3 games to see this dude like do the things that Mike is doing in the game.
That's a great
just from an intensity standpoint. So the topic is LeBron James still chasing Michael Jordan. I think he has at least 15 more seasons, and you have to go back and watch every last season to say that. And I think at some point you're gonna get you're gonna get fatigued. You're not gonna want to watch all these seasons to see him break all these records. It's good that he's doing it, but as Father Time start to creep in, it's not fun to watch no more, especially when forklift drivers are dunking on you at the big stage of the Olympics. So it's like at some point, bro, you gotta like just pass the legacy on. And unfortunately, I think he's waiting for Pricey before he's able to do that. My 2 cents.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's not, bro.
Great. That's a great analogy. Check this out, G, that Laker Nation said. Laker Nation says Tyson Chandler's career 5.97 shooting percentage. So is he the most consistent shooter of all time? Because Bruce's argument was LeBron is the most consistent scorer of all time. That's a great freaking argument. So here's the question, right? Are we going with longevity or are we going with highest peak, right? Because Mike clearly had the highest peak, but even for his peak, right? It was still a long time. Mike's peak was what? Are we going to count, I guess, just the 90s, like 91 through 98, 90 through 98? So let's think about this, right? Through that time period, you have 2 3-peats, right? You have 10 scoring titles, and during that time frame, your team never lost more than 2 games in a row. Never lost more than 2 games in a row. That is dominance. That's dominance. So LeBron, he's doing all this, and let me make it clear. Congrats, LeBron. You're playing at a level we've never seen for a guy this old who's been in the league this long with this many miles. Cool. But now everybody sees that you're padding stat. Stephen A said it on First Take the other day that LeBron is padding stat. Everybody sees it now. The same people that defended you all these years, they're coming out and they're talking about all the nonsense that you're doing. You're doing all this because you're chasing Michael Jordan and you're trying to get to a point that you just can't get to because you're not built the same way. You're not built the same way mentally. You don't have the same skill set. You're not built the same way physically. You just don't have it. You don't. And that's fine, because that's why Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, and that's cool. But why can't LeBron be happy with the incredible career that he has? And great point, Steve. Jordan accomplished more than LeBron in less time. That's wild. That's wild. Here we go. Ilja Morris, good to see you, man. It's been a while. LeBron was in the game up 19 in the fourth quarter the other night. You know why? He's got to keep getting his stats. He's got it right. He's got to get the stats. Everybody knows what he's doing. Everybody knows what he's doing. This is what I don't get it. I don't get it, man. So when you look at it, watch. It's going to be a huge deal. The mainstream sports networks and shows, they're going to make it a big deal when LeBron passes Jordan for most 30-point scoring games. But it took him, they're going to nicely leave out that it took 7 more freaking seasons to do it. Jordan did all this in 15 years. LeBron is doing all this in 22 plus. Like, come on, man. Y'all can't be serious. I just don't understand this. Like, he is and will continue to chase Michael Jordan for as long as he's alive, right? Every time he does something, even after he retires, every time he freaking does something, it's going to be some comparison to Michael Jordan, and he's never going to catch him, right? When he becomes an owner, I guarantee you he's going to want to be a better owner than Michael Jordan. And it's not necessarily because he's ultra competitive, because we know he's not, right? It's not that. It's because he thinks that's going to help his fake GOAT case. Like, come on, man. I don't understand this. Somebody has to explain this to me. Somebody got to explain this to me. Real quick, if you're in the chat, I appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, please click that like and subscribe. We really appreciate you being here. And it definitely helps the channel grow. Helps us get further out into the algorithm and get more people following the show. And just it's good overall, right? Because we're here, we're trying to kick the truth, we're trying to entertain you all a little bit, and we're trying to educate you all a little bit. So just help us out and help us get to more people. Appreciate it. Bruce, so Bruce, you know what? We good. I'm gonna leave that. But see how I did that, G? See how I did that? Let's see. Yeah, okay, great point. Italian in Laguna Beach was good, man. Good to see you. Haven't seen you here before, man. Hit that button for me. While Jordan had 10 scoring titles, he was 9-time first team all defense in 9 of those years. Absolutely. So this is the crazy thing, right? And LeBron can never ever speak to this. Michael Jordan is clearly the best two-way player of all time. Like, there's no question about that. LeBron can't say that. Nobody can make that argument. Nobody. Do you know how hard it is? G knows how hard it is to be a lockdown defender and an elite scorer at the same time, game after game, year after year. Like, I can't even speak to that. I know, in my little bit of playing ball, like it's freaking, it takes a lot of energy to play defense. And then you turn around and you're the number one offensive option. Go ahead, bro.
And you playing 22 years. So at some point you have to take accountability that you might not be able to play at that intensity, at that level on both sides of the court. 82 games with load management right now. We load management as well, and still have that type of longevity on the court, right? His defensive accolades should supersede his offensive accolades, but I don't think that's the case.
No, that's not the case at all. Sneed, you say Hakeem could be the best two-way player. I actually have Hakeem as the second best two-way player behind Michael Jordan. So that's my thought. But I mean, I'm not mad if you got Dream there. That's fine. Duncan's in there too. Kareem, yeah, those guys are right up there. But I think it's Mike, and then it's Mike, and then it's Dream. Definitely 1 and 2 at best best two-way players of all time. That's my opinion. But yeah, Steve says we all know LeBron is the GOAT because he got daddy daycare picture with his son on the court. Debate over. And you know, that's so funny. Think about all the freaking hoops this guy has to jump through to try and prove stuff to us that's not the case. And I've been saying this for years. How about you just dominate on the floor and let your play do the talking? That's all you have to do. You don't have to do all this. You don't have to send people from your agency after the media if they don't talk how you want. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to constantly rework rosters in the middle of the season and get all these guys. Like, all this stuff is not necessary. So I see why he's still chasing MJ. The answer is obvious, because he's not and never will be the GOAT. He never will be. Like that. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know, man. G, take over, man.
No, it's nothing. I mean, at this point, it's all preference, right? Like, we know reason why he's still playing. It could be money though, right? Like, he's still making millions and millions of dollars to play basketball, and still, but being in a game, you up 19 at this late in your career is crazy work. So that tips the hat in a certain direction that, hey, he is still chasing MJ, or he's chasing something, right? There's another accolade out there that he hasn't. Maybe his most minutes played in a career. I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
Parrish might be in trouble.
He's gonna have all that. So Logan, MJ is the GOAT, but it's an accomplishment to go to the finals as many years. It is an accomplishment to go to the finals as many years consecutively as LeBron. I agree. I do agree. But the fact is, and we got to be honest here, the moves he made weakened the East. So the East, when he was running through it, was one of the weakest Eastern conferences we ever saw. Like, that's just what it is, man. Nino says, see, this is what I don't like. The game wasn't played through two guards. Mike didn't have to work hard on defense. So one, do you think he only guarded two guards? Is that what we think? That's what we think? That's not the case. And it wasn't just like his assignment. Like, obviously that was his main thing, right? You guard your position back then. But at the same time, what we got to remember, Mike, up until D-Wade broke it near his retirement, Mike was the all-time leader among guards in blocked shots. And Mike is still, third or fourth all-time in steals. Like, so Michael Jordan, it's not like he was just, sitting around being lazy. Like, that dude was doing it all on defense, right? And if you go back and look, there was a lot of great matchups that he had to deal with at the two-guard spot. One of the ones, I mean, think about it. He had to deal with Ray Allen, prime physical Ray Allen, young Ray Allen. He had to deal with Mitch Richmond, who was a monster. And you can actually look it up to hear what he had to say about Mitch Richmond.
Reggie.
He had to chase Reggie Miller around. Thank you, sir. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of really good two guards he had to deal with. So let's not act like, let's not get into this whole he was playing against plumbers nonsense. Rose Ball, you're another one that I haven't seen before. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. All these gimmicks and schemes to be the GOAT. Yeah, absolutely. That's where I get so frustrated. Like, he has to do all of this instead of just working and working and working and making his game as great as it could be. Like, I get it. Everybody's not the same, but look at Kobe, right? That's why people and players have the respect that they do for Kobe, because it wasn't about talking. It wasn't about trying to control the media. It wasn't about any of that. It was about we got up at 5 o'clock and we went to the gym, and Kobe was already there and, soaked already through his first workout. Like, that's why people understand how great Kobe was, because he put the work in and the work showed up on the floor. So yeah, LeBron does a great job working on his body so that he can play this long. Does he do a great job working on his game? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, like, I don't understand how we are missing it. And let's not talk. We're not even gonna talk about how LeBron used his teammates terribly over the years, right? D-Wade is supposed to be his man. He goes down to Miami. D-Wade sits by him, helps him through the tough times, teaches him how to win. And then when he's ready to roll out, that's supposed to be his brother. He don't even tell him. D-Wade found out the same time we found out that LeBron was going back to Cleveland. Wow. D Wade eventually ends up in Cleveland. LeBron tried to get him traded behind his back. Like, these are the type of moves that LeBron pulls, man. When you're not useful to him anymore, or he can't scapegoat you anymore, he just tries to get you up out of there, man. Like, come on, man. Bruce says he's picking LeBron number 1 in the all-time draft. I'm sure you would, Bruce. I wouldn't, but I'm sure you would, and it's all good. Let's see. There we go. Here we go. So Laker Nation says Bills are only NFL team to go to 4 straight Super Bowls. Why aren't they considered the greatest team in the NFL? Because they didn't win. Now, in fairness, we know LeBron has 4 championships. We know that. But he also has more finals losses, as I say all the time, than any other former MVP. He's got 6 finals losses. And it's so amazing to me how the powers that be just gloss over the losing. That I just can't get past. How do you just gloss over the losing? It makes no sense. Let's see. Kobe got 10 scoring titles. No. Kobe doesn't have 10 scoring titles, Larry Jameson. I believe Kobe only has 2 scoring titles, but he does have 9 first-team all-defense. Yeah, I think you got confused on the scoring titles with Mike. He's got the 10 scoring titles. Laker Nation. So 8 straight finals doesn't mean nothing when you lost 5 of them. Yeah, that's hard. Why LeBron got guys speaking with such disdain? Bruce, we've been through this time and time again, right? If LeBron could just accept his position that he's an all-time great player and stop trying to lie and fool everybody and use every method at his disposal to say that he's something he's not, nobody would have a problem with him. You know, nobody would have a problem. But he's going through all these machinations and it's ridiculous and nobody believes him. That's another one. Yep, there you go. He didn't even show up to Wade's Hall of Fame induction. Again, that's supposed to be his brother. That's supposed to be his boy. And he wasn't there. Like, we can't keep making excuses for this guy. Now, that's off the court stuff. I get it. But it's amazing that you're not supposed to use off the court stuff to denigrate LeBron, but they constantly use off the court stuff to try and build him up. Oh, he's a social justice warrior. Oh, he built a school. I'm not even going to get into the school thing, but like, we got to stop this. No, LeBron did not take my lunch money. He doesn't need my lunch money. He's filthy rich, and I'm not. He absolutely doesn't need my lunch money. I'm not acting like that. What I'm doing is telling the truth. And as usual, people who love LeBron, they can't deal with that because they're so used to hearing the unadulterated hero worship and the idolatry when it comes to this dude. So that's
we have these back and forth interactions, and at the end of the day, you're still gonna have these young players who look at Paul George and call him their GOAT. At the end of the day, bro, like,
oh my
what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Are we fighting? You fighting a good fight, Bruce. You really are, bro. You're fighting a good fight, bro. And sometimes
well, we gotta tell the truth, brother.
As men, we were supposed to be logical human beings, but oftentimes people wear their feelings, their emotions dictate, their choices. And so you got to let them have it, bro. You just got to let them have it.
I mean, you're right, brother. You're right. I'm just saying, like, it's amazing to me because realistically, he really is still chasing Michael Jordan and he's never going to catch him. But you have so many people trying so hard to convince you of something that's not true. What was it Eddie Murphy in his stand-up routine way back in the 80s said, who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes? Was that Eddie Murphy? I can't remember, but it was one of these cats back then, and that was the line, right? So it's like, that's what LeBron is telling us. Who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes? Well, I'm gonna believe my eyes. I'm gonna believe what you have shown me for the last 22 years of your NBA career. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. But I guarantee you, just wait. It'll probably take maybe about a month or so, and then he's going to pass Michael Jordan for most 30-point games ever scored, and we're going to have to hear about it, and they're going to conveniently leave out the fact that he played 7 more freaking years. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. That's a great point, Larry Jameson. LeBron has the most turnovers in history and the most missed shots in history. But no one ever talks about that, right? But they're quick to bring up all the missed shots with Kobe. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Right? That's interesting how that works. See what I'm talking about? Like, it's just I don't know.
How many years of turnovers you think? Like, if you put it on footage, like, how many years of turnovers do you think? That's at least a year.
Yeah, like a full season just the turnovers.
Turnover highlights.
Yeah.
Traveling. I mean, I digress.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do some research, and I'm gonna patch that up. That'll be my contribution.
Right. Isn't that crazy Italian? Yeah. He's out there 3 a.m. lift. So there was a story, and he called his trainer, and I think he said it's like 2 a.m, 2, 3 a.m. He calls the trainer, and he's like, hey, I need you to, come work out with me or whatever. All right, cool. So the guy works out with Kobe for a couple hours. Then the guy says he goes back home and goes to sleep, and he comes back in the gym like 9 or 10 in the morning, and Kobe's still there. So he's like, hey, Kobe, what time did you get back? Kobe's like, what? Like, hey, what time did you come back? He's like, oh, I never left. I wanted to make 1,000 jump shots before I left the gym. Like, I get it. Everybody's not wired the same. But for LeBron, who is supposed to be this superhuman cyborg or whatever, for all that superhuman cyborgness and all of that stuff, why did he not use all of that to make his game better? That's the question. That's the question. But yet, with all of that, they're still trying to convince us that he's not chasing Jordan or that he caught Jordan and that he's better than Kobe. And I'm like, none of that adds up. If you just watch these guys play, none of it adds up. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But you ready to open up these phone lines, man?
Yes, sir.
All right. See, I told you I wasn't going to go too far down the rabbit hole. I got this. All right, man. I tried to control it. Is that better? Phone number is 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. We're also scrolling on the bottom of the screen. So let's go ahead. If you have some pushback to me, I'm sure there's some people who do in the chat, Bruce. Go ahead, give us a call. Definitely would love to hear your thoughts on this. All right, got my man Laker Nation. Laker Nation, what's good, brother?
Hey, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
I had to call you again.
It's all good.
What's good, y'all? What's up, Gino?
You.
All right. Let me go say my point before these LeBron fans come in here and start prying up your line.
All right.
The only thing I'm going to say is if they go and really deeply research Jordan, they will understand why 99% of the basketball community named him the GOAT. And they're not 99% of the basketball community aren't even fans of that man. I couldn't stand him when I was little because I was a Laker fan. But look, he has. I'm not even going to run down all his accomplishments. It's not a secret.
Right.
Most accomplishments on offense, most accomplishments on defense, and he has the stats to back it up. Even if you break down the analytics, he is first in everything. Like, this call would take too long if I break it down. But everybody talking analytics, he is number one in every analytical stat category for his career. Plus minus, he's number one. Regular season and playoffs. Playoffs, his numbers go up. There is a reason. There's a reason why they put him over Kareem, and Kareem is the most accomplished athlete in the league. The reason why he's ahead of him. It's not even close. Like, these LeBron fans, I don't listen to them because they speak it. Not all their takes is on emotion. Like, none of it is factually driven. Like, if they literally deep down took the time, like you guys that run your podcast, take your time and do the research, you will understand why he's the GOAT. Because he has the accolades and the stats to back it up. And they're there. You just got to go research it. They're not willing to research it. They just want to say, oh, they want to run, they want to throw they numbskull idiotic points out there and try to force you to believe what they say. When the eye test alone, he's nowhere close. The accolades alone, he's behind. Stats that matter, he's behind. Stats per their position. LeBron's not even top in his position
Right.
in all stat categories.
I agree.
So Jordan has him beat there on stats per position. Analytical stats for LeBron is worse than Russell Westbrook. But y'all can look it up.
Mm.
And that's the man that y'all saying that, you know, Westbrook's analytical stats are better than LeBron.
That's scary. Is that right?
Y'all need to look it up.
Is that right? That's scary if that's the case.
That is correct.
Wow.
Like Russell Westbrook plus and minus is better than LeBron.
Wow.
And they play the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really deep dive and look at and really with a fine-tuned comb, you know, look up, do the research on these players, you will know who's like what Jordan did was out of this world crazy.
Yeah.
Like I did it. Like I said, I'm not going to go over all of it because it will take up the rest of your show because there's a lot. I'm going to let y'all, like, even though I know these LeBron fans aren't going to do it because, you know, they don't want to see the fruit, you know, let them digress and have their king.
Right.
Let them have it, you know, let them sleep at night. But if they really look into LeBron with a fine-tuned comb compared to Jordan, it's not even close. And he's played 8 more seasons than him, and nowhere close. Like it's scary.
So my question for you is this, and then I'll let you go. How much of that do you think is the media conditioning they've been getting all these years? How much of that?
99% of it.
Okay.
I think they're not even, if you talk to, I'm not speaking on the young fans because they don't know no better. They're naive.
Right.
You're supposed to like the best player in your, you know, who do you like in your era. Like 30-year-olds, it was Kobe. 20-year-olds and on it's LeBron. You know, he's not, even though 37 done did way more than the league than him. But it's not hate, it's just the truth. Like if I'm a Laker fan and if I can say that, yeah, okay, Jordan is the GOAT when Magic's my guy, and I can honestly tell you that Jordan was 100 times better than Magic. That tells you that I'm a non-biased person. If LeBron actually did ask Jordan, I would give him this flow. But he's nowhere. When I really deep down dove into it, he's nowhere close, dog. It's scary how big the gap is. But
the gap is huge. There's no question about that.
It's like the distance from here to the next solar system in the gap in the universe. That's how big the gap is. It's like a huge black hole in between.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. But I mean, they feel how they feel. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Real quick, Sneed says he learned to appreciate Wilt. He is decades before his time. Greatness is greatness. You have to study the game. History is rich. Explains and tells the story of how we got here. Absolutely. Yeah, Wilt was a machine, man. Wilt was an absolute machine. And the people that came before us, if they're basketball fans, they'll tell you that we've never seen anything like Wilt. And I wish we could have seen Wilt like in the 80s and 90s in the best big man era, but that is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, my dad when I was growing up, and you know how they do when a player is coming up and they're saying like, oh, he's the best. My dad was like, fuck Jordan, he ain't got shit on. And he watched Wilt play. Right. God rest, but and he's seen his whole career, and he took it to his grave that Wilt's the best player ever. I'm not gonna argue with him. I never see Wilt play. All I got is the numbers, and I have no footage to back it up. Right. At least with Jordan, you got the footage. But my dad said, like, Wilt could do it all.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But it is specially proven that they changed the rules to stop Wilt.
That's true.
Because he was that dominant in his era. Like, they wouldn't allow him. It was a technical foul if if he dunked the ball, which I think is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he got that. He progressed that fadeaway and now hook shot.
Right. Yeah.
Because they wouldn't let him dunk, which I thought was ridiculous.
Yep.
But I'm gonna let Bruce call because I know Bruce got something. I know Bruce got something to say because we all hating on LeBron. We all LeBron haters. So I'm gonna let him get in and let you have that argument with him.
Oh, it's not gonna be an argument, man. Bruce, he got a right to say what he's gonna say. But yeah, I look forward to hearing him.
Love the show, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
I'm ready for this last topic. I don't know what you meant by that, but I'm ready with that last topic.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, nothing too crazy. We're just gonna talk about that. The Bears firing this guy, first coach in Bears history to get fired during the season.
Oh, he deserved to get fired. How the hell? I'm not gonna get into that because
right.
He deserved to get fired. Man, we saw that on Thanksgiving. That was ridiculous.
No doubt. But thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. All right, Bruce. All right, come on, man. I know you're waiting to call and say something ridiculous, so let's hear it. In the meantime, anybody else who wants to call and chime in on this, do you believe? First of all, do you think I'm wrong or right in terms of saying that LeBron is still chasing Jordan? Because obviously I think he is, but there are people who think that he's already surpassed him and that he's not chasing him anymore. So I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Yeah. Anybody wants to call in? Definitely waiting to hear on that. Here we go. All right, Bruce, let's get it, man. Go ahead.
Why I gotta be ridiculous, man?
No, go ahead. Say what you gotta say, man. I know you about to say something crazy. Go ahead.
What's that? Something crazy? You already know how I feel. Jordan is the GOAT. Jordan is the GOAT. Let me ask you this though, Bruce. What was wrong with Jordan? What's wrong with that?
You was breaking up. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said, what is wrong with LeBron chasing Jordan? What is wrong with it? What's wrong with it? What's the problem?
Oh, I have no problem with chasing Jordan. My thing is that we all know that he's chasing Jordan, but so many people are going to try to tell you that he's already surpassed him, and LeBron is doing all this, and he's running all this campaign to try and prove to you that he's something he's not, as if we can't see what's going on and what he's doing. So there's nothing wrong with him chasing him, right? Theoretically, that's competition. But my problem is he's not chasing him the right way by becoming the best player he can be. He's chasing him and trying to surpass him by creating the paper, by creating the paper man, like I was saying earlier. That's my problem.
So basically, the problem, I basically have a problem with the way that he's abusing his power.
If that's what you want to call it.
That's what it's basically about. But I understand. I truly believe LeBron clowned himself out a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But I respect him. I give him his flowers, even though I don't like some things about him. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like how he did Darvin Ham. I don't like how he did David Black. Mm-hmm. I don't like how he used to try to stand up and coach some of the game while the coaches was walking the line. So I don't like some things about it, but he's not perfect. Just like Jordan, not perfect.
Right.
It go both ways.
Right.
Like Jordan, like the punches is his punch white boys in the eye in practice and stuff like that.
So
understand what I'm saying?
Think about how many fights, like when you listen to people who cover teams, like beat writers, right. They talk about fights that happen between teammates all the time. Why do we make it such a big deal that Jordan got in a fight with a teammate in practice? I know why, but I want to hear what you got to say about it.
I'm just saying, basically what I'm saying, ain't nobody perfect. Well, he punched Steve Kerr in the eye. Come on now, you when that did it to Charles Oakley or Xavier McDaniel, you do somebody. You picking and choosing. You're a bully. Mike was a bully. That was his way of motivating his team. He's a bully. Everybody know that watching the last thing. Hey, we accept that shit. That's some shit I don't like about Mike. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like some stuff that I don't like about LeBron. Mm-hmm. Just like Mike, they on the team bus or the team airplane. He tell the chef, Horace Grant, don't eat because he ain't get enough rebounds in the game. Come on, man. I'm
curious to know if that really went down that way, because Horace Grant said it didn't really go down that way. So I'm curious.
Well, it was on the Last Dance. I'm going off that. So
I got you. I'm not saying you
it
did
go
or
both ways,
didn't.
man. With that, but I don't see nothing wrong with LeBron. Why not chase greatness? He wanna coming up like everybody else in the '90s. Everybody wanted to be Mike. So what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him chasing LeBron? I mean, chasing Mike.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't have any problem
But
with
how
it.
y'all talking? Y'all got it's a lot of disdain and hate. Like it's a little personal. Like
Let's not
give
use
him
the
his
word
flowers.
hate. Let's not use the
I ain't
word
hear,
hate.
listen. I ain't hear neither one of y'all give him his flowers.
You didn't
Give
listen.
him his flowers.
You didn't listen. I talked about. I said he's had an all-time great career. See, here's the problem with LeBron fans, right? Real talk. If you don't worship LeBron, you haven't given him his flowers. If you don't get on your knees and blah blah blah, then you haven't given LeBron his flowers. It's never enough to say he's had an all-time great career. It's never enough to say he's an all-time great player. No, but you don't have to say that because I gave the dude his credit for the things that he's done, but that's not enough for you because you're saying I didn't hear any credit for LeBron. Whoa, that's not true.
I heard more hate than love, though, especially from you, Bruce.
Well, first of all, I don't know that dude, so I don't hate him. Number one, do you love him?
I mean, you don't hate him. Now I'm just saying, I'm just speaking like we speaking in urban terms. You hate. I know you're not hating because you don't know him, but it's like
exactly.
Yeah, something he really rubbed you the wrong way somehow, some way. And we spoke about this plenty of times, but he really got his hooks in you about how you feel about him. Like you standing on it. Like damn.
I don't like the way he moves, and I don't like the way he's got a lot of people moving. I'll say that.
Okay, you talk about in the basketball world or in the business world or in life?
In the basketball world and in life, because you got people. For instance, you ever watch the Dreamers Pro Show on YouTube?
Who show?
It's called the Dreamers Pro Show. He talks a lot of basketball.
Yeah. But now I ain't seen that one with him. So what happened?
So basically, and he does a lot of content, a lot of NBA content. And at one point, like he was talking about LeBron, and some guy didn't like it, and the dude literally gave him death threats, talking about if you come out here, it's on site, and I'm gonna do this and do that. And I'm like, what?
Same thing with Jordan before.
I've never heard anything like that when it comes to Jordan.
I seen it firsthand.
Okay.
Niggas arguing about Mike and really got into it about Michael Jordan. Like really got emotional about it and raised their hands. We had to come between them. Family shit, get the arguing at the table. Like really got pumped up about that shit. But it happens. So I understand what you're saying. Go ahead, Bruce.
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay. But I don't see nothing wrong with LeBron chasing Jordan. It's cool.
I don't either.
You want to chase greatness. Chase. If you look up to him, he basically showing them respect. But you see how Mike be doing LeBron though? Down. They rarely talk. You feel what I'm saying?
But why does sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. What would you ask? What you get ready to ask me?
Yeah, I was gonna say why does Jordan have to talk to LeBron when LeBron and his people literally have an entire generation denigrating Michael Jordan and his generation to try and prop LeBron up? I wouldn't talk to him either.
No, because LeBron spoke up about him like they don't see like he wish they could be closer, and it's not like that. Like you really feel some type of way about that. Like he not close as he thought because he's wrong. He feels though like him and Mike should be, you know what I mean? Buddy, but you know Mike is.
No.
You know Mike an evil man. You know Mike,
LeBron thinks
Mike, that. Mike not good. You know Mike not good with relationships. You know Mike get all in his feelings sometimes. He cut Charles Barkley off because Barkley said he was a horrible owner.
He didn't have a problem with Kobe.
Who ain't had a problem with Kobe?
Mike?
Yeah, because he was Kobe the fake Mike. He the false Mike. He's a Mike duplicate. But I'm talking about how he cut Barkley off. I'm going to get off the phone. But he cut Barkley off. Long time friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know Barkley speak his mind. Journalist.
That's a fact.
He critiqued Mike about how he running the Charlotte
fairly
with Bobcat. Yes. And he cut Barkley off about that because he spoke about it.
I don't agree with that either. You're right though. You're right on that one. I don't agree with it.
Come on, Mike that type nigga. Like you can't say you're above reproach. Like motherfucker can't say nothing about you.
I didn't say that.
I'm saying that's one thing I don't like about Mike. That's one of the things I don't like about him. But he's Mike. But as far as I don't see nothing wrong with LeBron chasing Mike. So I'm done about it.
All right, no doubt, man. I appreciate the call, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, man. All right. Sneed, you funny, man. Oh, man. Oh, that's a great point. Wow. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, grown man really out there trying to fight for LeBron. Grown man with 2 replaced hips was really going to get in a fight with young professional athletes over LeBron. That is absurd. That is true. That's wild. All right, y'all. Great topic. Let's go ahead and get to the last one. Let's go ahead and finish this off. Yeah. He cut off Perk, Laker Nation, but Perk started. If you notice, he started. He's back on the company line, so I guess they're okay again. I guess those. Yes, I guess they're okay again. So I'm gonna leave it there. All right, let's get to the last topic. Matt Eberflus, former head coach of the Chicago Bears. Let's just say he's been bad. I think he's 14-31 as the Bears head coach. Let me make sure about that. Matt Eberflus career head coaching record. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's he did a terrible job during the Thanksgiving Day game. I mean, yeah, he's 14-32 as a head coach for the Chicago Bears, and he did not during his time. He did not have a winning record against divisional or conference opponents, and so I think that's a really bad thing, right? Think about how bad you have to be, because the Bears have never in their history fired a head coach during the season, right? So obviously, first of all, they really should have, in all fairness, they should have let him go this past offseason, right? Because they got Caleb Williams, the supposedly generational talent, #1 overall pick in the draft, but they kept a coach that wasn't very good and wasn't going to allow this guy to have success, right? And so Eberflus, he got fired, what was that, Friday, after terrible time management, which led to them losing a game in the fourth quarter that they could have won on Thanksgiving Day against the Detroit Lions. So he gets fired, and again, that's the first time we've ever seen a Bears head coach get fired in season. So I just wanted to touch on this quickly and say, man, he's done, and you just got to be that bad to have the Bears make a historic move that we've never seen them do before. And it's just bad, man. They're currently on a 6-game losing streak. He tried to save his job by firing Shane Waldron, the OC that he brought in this past offseason. And, it didn't work out, needless to say. And so the big issue is that you've got a guy, again, who was supposed to be a generational talent in Caleb Williams, and, he can't help him develop. He did a poor job with Justin Fields, and so I guess the Bears have just had enough. So now they gotta start over with this whole thing and figure out what they're gonna do in the offseason in terms of head coaching and trying to make the best out of this team and hope for the future. Snead says firing a coach mid-season that isn't personal conduct related shows organizational dysfunction. They don't have a legitimate replacement right now. What's the point? No, I get it. I guess they had enough, man. They realized it was too much, and sometimes you have had enough. And then think about it. You also saw a few weeks earlier against the Commanders. You saw that issue where he didn't have his guys, with the proper mindset and prepared for the play, and it cost him. excuse me. It cost him with that Hail Mary pass that cost him the game. It's little things like that say clearly this coach isn't the guy. We're not even going to play games around with it. You gotta get out of there. Yeah, Laker Nation. When you've had enough, you've had enough. Absolutely. Gee, man, your thoughts on this? I know you're an NFL guy as well. How bad does it have to be, you think, to fire a coach in season? Because I think that's pretty bad. I can't hear you, G. I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
So it started early on in the season when Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they picked up Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. So they would give him that test run, and he made a statement about coaching, right? Like if a player's not performing to the standard, that's because of coach, right? Coaching issues. And then you fast forward to now, and you see the offensive coordinator put out the wrong play at a key situation or a key time in the game, and Caleb Williams changed the play at the line. That's what he said during the press conference. He didn't even know he had a timeout left, right? Rookie shit, just rookie shit.
Right.
And so the onus was definitely on the coach to kind of guide that team to victory. He hasn't done that much this year, but there was a lot of how can I put it? The margin for error for him was extremely low this year, right? Oh, high. I'm sorry, high. The margin for error was extremely high this year because of what happened last year and them selling and getting rid of everybody. So I wasn't surprised that they did can him. I think you look at where they are now and where they thought they would be. The Bears have been bad for so long. I think with the opportunity to bring in new players and a new coach, get another fresh start. I don't know, bro. I think you got your quarterback. You got a lot of pieces there, but dude he just fell asleep at the wheel. I don't know what this guy was doing, man. They had timeouts to burn. I didn't understand it. Like it was just like you just let the game get. You could have kicked the field goal. You could have, the fact they had the audible at the line would be without burning the timeout. I just knew somebody was gonna get canned. I was like, that's it. This is the worst coaching job I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, it's been pretty bad.
And Harbaugh, I mean, it looked like some Harbaugh shit. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It looked like some John Harbaugh shit at the end. Like it is what it is. But yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say that John Harbaugh is a champion. No matter however else we feel about it, that dude is a champion. Eberflus is not close. So
I'm just speaking on the fourth quarter game on the line type situations. I've seen that, and that's got to get it twisted. If you make that catch, DJ Moore make that catch, they in the end zone, they win the game. Just unfortunately, like it was all zeros on a it was a situation where they could have had two plays and then only was able to get one, and they had a timeout, and so that'll get you canned every time when the game's on.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I just saw this and I didn't even realize it. I don't know why it didn't connect with me. Chicago had a 4-2 record heading into the bye week, so they were playing well. And then most teams use the bye week to get better, right? They get healthier, they improve, they work on the things that they need to adjust, they make tweaks, and the bye week is a good thing for them. For them, the bye week got a lot worse. So I'm very interested to see who they replace him with full time next year. Very interesting to see how they're going to go about it. Are they going to look for some highly ranked new hot offensive coordinator? Are they going to look at an established former head coach? Think about it. Maybe you give Bill Belichick a call and you say, hey, come along and bring what's my man's name, Josh McDaniel with you. You might not have personnel say, but we know those guys work well together and they can call plays. And maybe with the right guy, they can have an opportunity to do something special. So who knows? But
the Bears fan that I know is saying sell a team.
I mean, I think it's probably fair to assume that they need a lot of work from top to bottom, right? In terms of just getting a whole new revamped organization and a fresh start. I mean, look how much that helped Washington, right? Washington's been bad for a while, and nobody's saying they're going to win a Super Bowl this year, but you can see and feel just, the difference in that organization because they started fresh from top to bottom, right? And maybe that's exactly what the Bears do need. Who knows,
Yeah.
Maybe it's time. But look, if you owned an NFL team, you think anybody could force you to sell it? You're going to get like $6 billion for the Bears. That's an original NFL team. You're going to get a ton of dough for that. Yeah. So it's like, nah, maybe I'll hold on to it a little longer. Right?
Yeah. I think conduct issues have to take place for most owners decide to sell.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. Yeah. Yep. So, I just wanted to touch on that, man. Eberflus is gone. The Bears are
Still the
They're
Bears.
gonna have a fresh start. Yeah, they're still the Bears, right? They're gonna have a fresh start next year, at least from the coaching standpoint, and we're gonna find out what's what. So we're gonna leave it right there. I'm not even gonna take calls on this. It's a pretty simple topic. I just wanted to touch on that and mention it, and we're gonna leave it right there. For everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. Appreciate y'all for staying with us. Quick show again. Me and G, we can run through these things, but good show Saturday night. Appreciate it. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate that. You know what it does. And make sure you share the show. So we're going to leave it right here. Y'all have a great night. We'll be back with you Wednesday. And that will be Sneed. You got something to say on that? I didn't even really. If you got something to say, man, give us a call. Go ahead. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Sneed, you can go ahead, give us a call, give your thoughts. And if not, we'll go ahead and we'll leave it right there for the night. But I didn't even realize that you if you want to call in, go for it. But yeah, so that's where we are, man. That's where we are. As always, we enjoy doing the show with y'all, and we'll be back for the next one. Transformer will probably be back with us Wednesday night as well. So yeah, that's that. Let's see. TCU beat, for your college football fans, TCU beat Cincinnati today. Arizona State has officially clinched a berth in the Big 12 Conference Championship game. So I guess we still got to wait to see if Colorado can get into it. I have no idea what the what's what in terms of what would make that happen, but we know it's still possible. I guess we'll know later tonight or in the morning. All right, no doubt. So, there you go. If BYU beats Houston, they're in. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get off right now. Y'all have a great night, and we'll talk to you next time. We out. Peace.